GLAMOROUS. We're flying first class up in the sky, about the glamorous on the flouncy flouncy. Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Phoebe, aka Barbie, and today we're doing something very different. Something that I love just as much as watching movies and TV shows is I love a good book. Because I love a trope, I love these unrealistic men that have been written by women who just know what they're doing. And I know that you guys do too. And for the longest time when I've been reading these books on my lonesome, I've been thinking it would be so fun to do a full reading session that everybody can join in on. So the first series that we're going to be delving into is none other than the Windy series by Liz Tomforde. Now I did something kind of bad and it's sort of blasphemous, I guess, in the reading book world. I'm not that anal about reading stuff in chronological order, especially if it can be read as a standalone. If I want to read it, I'll read it. I'm not that precious about it. So I have read Play Along from this series and I really enjoyed it. But I know that Play Along, it's like the 4th or 5th book in the series. And these are, I didn't realise how thick this book was. This is a big book. So I thought if I do a series, by the time it gets to that book, I can read it and still enjoy it because I read it a while ago, if that makes sense. And because I enjoyed that book so much, that was the reason why I leant towards reading this series first. I was going between this one and the Chestnut Springs series. Yeah, I know. But I did the same thing that I did with this series. With that series, I read Reckless as a standalone and I literally have just finished that book. So I don't want to start that series again because it feels too soon and too fresh. So I'm going with this one first. But if you guys enjoy this series and you'd like me to do another one, if you'd like me to do that one, I'm down. Now this is going to be some long form content. I really wanted to, on top of my reaction videos, because they take longer because of how much I edit them, I wanted to be able to release something else more regularly that sort of could just be more unedited, unfiltered, and just a massive binge. Now I did Google how long it takes to read this book and it says for a good average reader it probably takes about 6 hours. I'm not going to read it in one sitting because I'm not psychotic, so I don't know if I'll have to split this into 2 or 3 parts depending on how long this takes. I am a good reader, but anyway, if you want to read along with me or you just want to sit and listen to my soothing sensual voice, then do that. If you're having your morning coffee, have me on in the background, if you will. I'm here to just play in the background, I guess. You know what? Instead of me babbling on, let's get started with the series, am I right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this intro so much and I already don't want to because I just want to post it as it is. But look at me, I can't stop. Let's go. So the first book in the series is Mile High. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people say that this is their least favourite book in the series. Oh no. So it's Xander's, Hop, and Stevie. So Xander's. Chicago hockey isn't complete without me. I'm the player everyone loves to hate, the one who spends most of the game in the penalty box and leaves the arena with a different girl every match. I know my role and I play it well. Okay. What I don't know is why the new flight attendant on the team's private plane has got under my skin. Am I pushing that call button just to push her buttons? Or is it more than that? Stevie. I thought I'd seen it all as a flight attendant until I started working for the biggest diva in the sport. Unfiltered, unapologetic, too attractive for his own good. Evan Sanders. Now, I'm second guessing everything, even my promise never to hook up with an athlete again, no matter how annoyingly tempting he is. Again! Oh, so she's dabbled, okay. Now, I do know that the author, her previous job was a flight attendant for sports teams, which is so fun because what she will be writing about will be pretty accurate, I'm guessing. So yeah, this is so funny to me. I can't believe I'm doing this. I really hope that people like this because I think this is a really cool concept. Anyway, chapter 1, Xander's. I'm not going to be doing any accents or deep voices. I'm not an audible book, okay? So chill. I love road games. I hate road games. Madison pulls his suitcase out of the back of my Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, my newest purchase, before shrugging on his suit jacket. You hate them for the exact reason why I love them so much. I lock my car, throw my keys in my bag, and take a deep breath as Chicago's crisp fall air fills my lungs. I love hockey season, and this week is the start of hockey season on the road. Why? Because you have girls lined up waiting to see you in every city we visit, whereas the only woman I want to see is my wife, who is here in Chicago with my daughter and newborn son. Exactly, I pat Madison on the shoulder as we enter the private airport entrance here at O'Hare International. We show our IDs to the security before being let out onto the tarmac. Did we get a new plane? I stop in my tracks, cocking my head in the new bird with our team logo on the tail. Seems like it, Madison absent-mindedly adds, looking down at his phone. How's Logan doing? I ask in reference to his wife, whom I know he's texting right now. He's obsessed with her. He's never not texting her. What a man! She's a badass man. Madison's voice drips with pride. MJ is only a week old and she's got his schedule down. No surprise there, Madison's wife Logan is one of my closest friends and probably the most capable person I know. They're my only friends who have kids, but their family of four has become my extended family. Their daughter calls me Uncle Z, and I refer to their kids as my niece and nephew, regardless of the lack of blood ties between us. Their dad is my best friend, and practically my brother at this point, which wasn't always the case. Ellie Madison was once my most hated rival while we were growing up. We were both raised in Indiana, playing travel hockey for two different teams. He was the golden boy who got everything he ever wanted, and it annoyed the shit out of me. Oh my god, I just swore. I don't swear, guys, so it's kind of crazy. But that's not me, it's Xander's. His life was perfect, his family was perfect, and mine was anything but. Then he went on to play for the University of Minnesota while I played for Ohio State, and our childhood rivalry turned into a heated 5 years of college hockey. I had some family stuff going on at the time, and I took all my anger out on the ice. Madison ended up being the recipient of my shit when I threw him into the boards with a dirty hit earlier in our college years. Oh my god, it's so crazy because I actually, I don't swear, just because I think it sounds funny when I swear, and he's swearing a lot in this. I might not be able to. I effed his ankle up enough to pull him out of his sophomore season and subsequently the NHL draft. Oh, tea. Ironically enough, I also had to sit out my sophomore year thanks to a few classes I was failing. He hated me for it, and I hated myself for a whole lot of other reasons. Then I started going to therapy, religiously. I worked on my shizzle, and by our senior year, Madison and I were the best of friends. We still played for different teams, but we respected each other and found common ground through our mental health struggles. He dealt with anxiety and panic attacks, and I dealt with so much bitter anger it would result in panic attacks simply because it would consume me, blinding me from reality. And as fate would have it, Ellie Madison and I landed on the same team here in Chicago, playing professional hockey for the Raptors. This season is the start of my 7th pro year, and I couldn't imagine playing anywhere else, which is why I need to make sure I get re-signed when my contract is up at the end of the season. Scott, did we get a new plane? I asked one of our team managers walking ahead of us. Yeah, he calls over his shoulder. All the Chicago pro teams did. New charter company, new plane, some big deal they signed with the city. New plane, new seats. New flight attendants, I suggestively add. Naughty boy. We always had new flight attendants, Madison chimes in, and they all tried to sleep with you. I smugly shook my shoulders. He's not wrong, and I'm not ashamed, but I don't sleep with women who work for me. It gets messy, and I don't do messy. That's the other thing that's new, our team manager shouts back. Same flight crew for the whole season, same pilots and same flight attendants. No more random crew members coming on and off our airplane, asking for your autographs, or asking to get in your pants. Madison shoots me a pointed look. I didn't mind. My phone digs in my suit pant pocket. Pulling it out, I find 2 new messages waiting for me in my Instagram DMs. Carrie, saw your game schedule. You're in town tonight. I see. I'm free and you better be too. Ashley, you're in my city tonight. I want to see you. I'll make it worth your while. These puck bunnies, yes. Just FYI, I am very big into my sports romances, specifically hockey, so I know all the lingo. I got into my notes app, finding the note titled Denver, trying to remember who these women are. Oh god, he's a playboy. Apparently, Carrie was a great lay with a fantastic rack, and Ashley gave one hell of a Show jab! Okay, it's going to be hard to choose. Why did I do this? I don't know how I'm going to read these aloud. Anyway, it's going to be hard to choose where I want my night to take me. Then there's the option of going out and seeing if I can widen my Denver roster with some new recruits. We're going out tonight, I asked my best friend as we ascend the stairs onto our new plane. I'm grabbing dinner with a buddy from college. My old teammates live in Denver. Ah, shizer. That's right. Well, after, let's grab some drinks. I'm having an early night. You always have an early night, I remind him. All you want to do is hang in your hotel room and call your wife. The only time you go out with me is when Logan makes you. Well, I have a 1 week old son, so I can guarantee that I'm not going out tonight. I need some sleep. How is little MJ? Scott asks at the top of the stairs. Cutest little shoo. Madison pulls out his phone to show off the countless pictures he sent me over the week, already 10 times more chilled than Ella was as a newborn. Stepping in front of them, I walk into our new plane, taken aback by how amazing it is. It's completely brand new with custom carpets, seats, and our team logo plastered everywhere. Bypassing the front half of the plane where the coaches and staff sit, I make my way to the exit row, where Madison and I have sat for years now, ever since he became captain and I became alternate captain. We run every aspect of this team, including where we sit on the airplane. Veterans sit in the exit row, and as your seniority on the team falls, the further back you sit, with rookies all the way in the last row. Abso-fudgin-lutely, Nad, I quickly state, finding our second-year defenseman Rio sitting in my seat. Rio. Is Rio the one for Rewind It Back, the last book of the series? I think so. Yes. Get up. I was thinking, Rio begins, his goofy-ass grin taking up his entire face. New plane, maybe new seats, maybe you and Madison want to sit in the back of the plane with the rookies this year. F no, get up. I don't care if you're not a rookie this season, I'll still treat you like one. His curly hair falls over his dark green eyes, but I can still see them shining with amusement as he tests me. Little effer. He's from Boston, Massachusetts, an Italian mama's boy who likes to test my patience, but almost every time he opens his damn mouth I end up laughing. He's pretty effing funny, I will say that. Rio, get out of our seats, Madison commands from behind me. Yes, sir, he quickly stands, snagging his boombox from the next seat over, and hurries to the back of the plane where he belongs. Why does he listen to you and not me? I'm 10 times more intimidating than you. Maybe because you take him out wherever we're on the road and treat him like your little wingman, whereas I'm his captain and keep the line clear. Maybe if my closest friend would come out with me, I wouldn't have to recruit a 22-year-old to be my backup when we're out on the town. Throwing my bag in the overhead bin, I take the seat closest to the window. F no, Madison stands staring down at me. You had the window last year, you're the aisle seat this season. I look at the seat directly next to mine, then back to him. I get motion sickness. Madison bursts into a fit of laughter. No you don't, stop being a little biatch and get up. I unwillingly move to the next seat over, each row on this plane only having 2 seats on either side of the aisle. A couple of other long-time vets sit in the row opposite us. Pulling my phone out, I reread the messages from the girls in Denver, contemplating how I want my night to go. Would you go for a great lay, a mind-blowing or take your chances with something new? Madison completely ignores me. All 3? I answer for him. I might be able to swing that. Another text comes through. This time it's a group message from my agent Rich. Rich. Interview with the Chicago Tribune before the game tomorrow. Play it up. Make us that money. Rich texted. That's hard to say. Rich texted. I tell my captain. Interview tomorrow before the game. Wants us to play up our little shtick. What's new? Madison sighs. So you know you have the short end of the stick on this one. Whenever you're ready to let people know you're not the poo-poo head they all think you are, you let me know and we'll stop the act. This right here is why Madison is my best friend. He might be the only person other than his family and my sister who knows I'm not the bad guy that the media makes me out to be. But my image has its perks, one being that women throw themselves at the self-proclaimed unlovable bad boy, and our contrasting personas make us both a ton of money. Now I'm still enjoying it. I tell him honestly, I gotta get that renewed contract by the end of the season, so until then we have to keep it going. Ever since Madison came to Chicago 5 years ago, we've created this storyline that the fans and media eat up. We make a poop load of money for the organisation because our duo puts fans in the seats. The once hated rivals turn best friends and teammates. Madison has been married for years to his college sweetheart and they have 2 kids together. I have nights where 2 different women come over to my penthouse. He's such a whore. We couldn't be more different from the outsider's perspective. He's Hockey's golden boy and I'm the city's troublemaker. He scores the goals and I score with the ladies. People eat that poop up. We play it for the media, but the truth is I'm not the piece of poop people think I am. I care about a lot more than just the women I take home from the arena, but I'm also confident in who I am. I like having, you know what, Sam, with beautiful women, so I'm not going to apologise for it. How am I going to make it through this book? Anyway, if that makes me a bad person, F it. I make a hell lot of money from being the bad boy. As I scroll on my phone, I spot a figure in my peripheral, but I don't look up to see who is standing in front of me. Though from my sightline of vision, I can tell the curvy frame belongs to a woman, and the only women on board are flight attendants. Is this where I come in? Are you? She begins. Yes, I'm Evan Sanders. I cut her off, keeping my eyes down on my phone screen. And yes, that's Ellie Madison, I add with exhaustion. Sorry, no autographs. This happens almost every flight. The new flight crew drools over meeting professional athletes. It's a bit annoying, but it's part of the job, being recognised as much as the two of us are. Good for you, and I don't want your autograph. Her tone is entirely unimpressed. What I was going to ask is, are you ready for me to give you your exit row briefing? Period. Finally, I look up at her. Her blue-green eyes piercing and pointed. Her hair bounces with chestnut curls and able to be tamed. Her skin is a light brown, speckled with soft freckles across her nose and cheeks, but her expression could not be less impressed with me. Not that I give a F. Kinda seems like you do, bro. My eyes wander her body. Her tight work uniform hugs every curve of her full frame. You do realise you're in the exit row, right? Evan Sanders. She asks if I'm an idiot, her almond-shaped eyes narrowing. Madison snickers next to me, neither of us ever hearing a woman speak to me with such disdain. My eyes form into slits, not backing down, a little shocked that she just spoke to me that way. Yes, we're ready, Madison answers for me. Go for it. She gives her spiel and I zone out. I've heard this more times than I can count, but it's some legal thing they have to tell us before every flight, I guess. I scroll on my phone as she speaks, my Instagram feed littered with models and actresses, half of which I've dated. Okay, well, dated is probably the wrong word. I don't like this guy. Madison nudges me. Z, what? This word again. I absent-mindedly reply. She asked you an effing question, man. Looking up, the flight attendant stares down at me, her expression full of annoyance as her eyes wandered down to my phone screen, a half-naked woman on full display right there on my feed. Are you willing and able to help in an emergency? She repeats. Sure, I'll take a sparkling water, by the way, extra lime. My focus shifts back to my phone. There's a cooler in the back row for you to grab it yourself. Period. My eyes light up once again, but kind of like she's a flight attendant, so it is her job to do that, but period. What's with this chick? I find her name tag, a pair of wings with Stevie in the centre. Well, Stevie, I would really like it if you brought it to me. Well, Evan, I would have really liked if you paid attention during my safety demo instead of assuming I wanted your autograph like some little pup Benny. She condescendingly pats me on the shoulder, which I don't, and I'm not. Damn! Okay. You sure about that, sweetheart? My smug smile overtakes my face as I lean forward in my seat closer to her. Could be worth a pretty penny for you. Gross, her face contorts with disgust. Thanks for listening, she says to Madison before taking off towards the back of the plane. I can't help but turn around and watch her in shock, her round hips sway, taking up more space than the other flight attendants I've seen on board, but her little pencil skirt dips in at the waist. Body tea. So Stevie is a total brat. No, you're just a total a-hole and she called you on it. Madison laughs. And Stevie? Yeah, that's her name. It was on her name tag. You've never known a flight attendant's name before. His tone laced with accusation, but clearly she should give two poops about you, my friend. At least she's off the plane next flight. No, she's not, Madison reminds me. Same flight crew for the whole season. Remember what Scott said. F. Fudge. That's right. We've never had the same girls on board for an entire season. I like her already, only because she doesn't like you. This is going to be fun to watch. I like Madison. I turn around to peek into the back of the plane just as Stevie's gaze finds mine, neither of us backing down or breaking eye contact. Her eyes are probably the most interesting pair I've ever seen, and her body is perfectly full with plenty to grab onto. Oh, he's such a whore. But apparently her pretty outside that I like is tainted by the attitude I don't like. She might need a reminder that she's working for me, but I'll make sure she understands. I'm petty that way. I'll remember that little interaction for as long as she's on my airplane. Okay, so straight away, starters, do not like this guy. I know that later on we're going to see a more soft and vulnerable side to him and he's going to do a complete 180, but he's a complete douche. He's a complete douche. And she's also ballsy because really in reality, if she spoke to the guy like that and he didn't like it, he could get her kicked off the plane. You know, like they could easily just get another flight attendant. So for the purpose of the book, yes. For the purpose of reality, I don't think she'd actually speak to him like that. Chapter 2. Stevie. That guy is an ass. Which one? My new co-worker Indy cranes her neck to look down the aisle. Indy, that's another character, right? I feel like I recognise that name. That one sitting in the exit row. Ellie Madison, I've heard he's like the nicest guy in the NHL. Not that one, the other one, sitting next to him. Though the two men occupying the exit row seem like good friends and probably have a lot in common on the inside, they're polar opposites on the outside. Evan Sanders' hair is black and tightly faded to his scalp, seeming like he can't go more than 7 to 10 business days without getting a fresh cut. At the same time, Ellie Madison's brown mop falls messily over his eyes, and he probably couldn't tell you the last time he saw his barber. Evan Sanders' skin is a flawless warm brown and Ellie Madison's is fairly pale, topped with rosy cheeks. Evan Sanders' neck drips with a gold chain, his fingers decorated with fashionable gold rings, while Ellie Madison wears only one piece of jewellery, and it's a ring on his left ring finger. Love him. I'm a single woman. Of course the first thing I notice is a man's hand, especially the left one. One thing they definitely have in common is that they're both fine as hell, and I could bet good money on the fact they know it. Indy peers down the aisle again. Thankfully, we're in the rear of the airplane and everyone's backs to us, so no one can see how obvious she's being. Are you talking about Evan Sanders? Yeah, he's known for being a doo-doo, but do we care? It's like God decided to take a little extra time and sprinkle a bit more shashi into this genetic makeup. He's an ass. You're right, Indy agrees. His booty was sculpted by God himself too. I can't help but laugh with my new friend. We met a few weeks ago when we went through job training together, and I don't know much about her yet, but so far she seems great. Not to mention gorgeous. She's tall and slender, her skin sporting a natural sun-kissed glow with blonde hair running smoothly down her back. Her eyes are a warm brown, and I don't think she has a stitch of makeup on, simply because she's stunning without it. Do you just hate people like that? Boo. My eyes trail down her uniform, noticing how perfectly smooth it lays on her thin frame. There's no gaping between the buttons in her white collared shirt, and her pencil skirt shows no creasing the way mine does from everything it's trying to hold in. Immediately feeling self-conscious, I adjust my snug uniform. I ordered it last month when I was a few pounds smaller, but my weight has always fluctuated. How long have you been doing this? I ask Indy as we wait for the rest of the team to board the plane so we can take off on our first trip of the season. How long have I been a flight attendant? This is my 3rd year, but I've never worked for a team before. How about you? This is my 4th year and my 2nd team. I used to fly for an NBA team out of Charlotte, but my brother lives in Chicago and helped me get this gig. So you've been around athletes before. This is nothing new to you. I'm a little starstruck, to be honest. Been around athletes, dated one, related to one. Damn. Yeah, I mean, they're just normal people like you and me. I don't know about you, girl, but I don't make millions of dollars a year. Nothing normal about that. I definitely don't make anything near that, which is why I live in my twin brother's insane Chicago apartment until I can find something on my own. I don't love living off him, but I don't know anyone else in the city, and he's the one who wanted me out here so badly. Plus he makes ridiculous money, and I don't feel all that bad mooching off him for a free place to sleep. We couldn't be more different from each other. Ryan is focused, put together, driven and successful. He's known his path since he was 7. I'm 26 and still trying to figure it out, but regardless of our differences, we're the best of friends. Are you from Chicago? I asked my new friend. Born and raised, well, in the suburbs. How about you? I grew up in Tennessee but went to college in North Carolina. I stayed there when I got my flight attendant job. I just moved to Chicago a month ago. Newbie to the city. It is. Indy's brown eyes shine with excitement and a bit of mischief. We've got to go out when we get back home. Well, we've got to go out when we're on the road too, but I'll introduce you to all the best spots in Chicago. I shoot her a grateful smile, thankful to have such a cool and accepting chick on my plane this season. This industry can be cutthroat and sometimes the girls aren't the nicest to each other, but Indy seems genuine. She and I are about to spend an entire hockey season on the road together, so I'm even more thankful that we get along. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for the other flight attendant. Over the 2 weeks of training, Tara, the lead flight attendant, seemed anything but welcoming. Territorial might be a better word for her, or bitchy, either or. I have to admit something, Indy begins in a whisper, brushing her wispy blonde hair out of her face. I don't know poop about hockey. A giggle slaps past my lips. Yeah, me neither. Okay, thank God. I'm glad it's not a job requirement. I mean, I know who they all are because I did my FBI level investigation of them on social media, but I've never seen a game. My boyfriend is plenty versed in the sport though. He even gave me a hall pass if needed. Wait, really? Okay, so Indy has a boyfriend. Or why do I feel like the next book is going to be Indy and her brother? Because he's an athlete too. Yes? I'm not going to have that boyfriend for long, sis. Wait, really? She pushes me off. As a joke, I'd never do that. If anything, he'd want a hall pass for one of them. He's in love with watching sports, following athletes, all of it. Before I can tell Indy that I have someone at home that her boyfriend might fanboy over, the jerk from the exit row starts walking down the aisle towards us. I can't lie. I'm so sorry. I can't lie to myself and say that Evan Sanders is not a beautiful man. He looks like he just stepped off a runway with the way he's walking towards me right now. His cheeky smile can't hide his perfect teeth, and his eyes are the definition of a hazel dream. The tailored three-piece suit he's rocking has a slight herringbone and screams that he doesn't leave the house unless he's dressed to impress. But he's a pompous a-hole who assumed I wanted his autograph and stared at photos of half-naked beautiful women while I was trying to explain how I could save his life in case of an emergency. I mean, the likelihood of him needing to know anything I was trying to explain is slim to none, but that's not the point. The point is, he's an arrogant athlete that's in love with himself. I know his type, I've dated that type, and I'll never do it again. So I stop admiring and turn around to distract myself with something meaningless in the gallery, but his presence is overwhelming. He's the type of man that everyone notices when he walks into the room, and that just annoys me even more. Okay, Miss Shea, Indy whispers my last name with a nudge. I look back at her, but she motions towards Anders. Turning around, I glance up at him, his piercing eyes locked on mine. The most arrogant grin slides across his lips as he stands in the small entryway of the airplane's back galley. He puts both arms up against the barrier, casually blocking Indy and me in. I need a sparkling water with extra lime. His focus is lasered in on me. I mean, I know he's a douche, but this, it is a job. It takes everything in me not to roll my eyes because I just told him where he could find one. There's a big fancy cooler not even a foot away from him, stocked with all kinds of drinks for a reason. Athletes are essentially famished after their games, and since we do a lot of overnight flights post-game, the plane is set up like an all-you-can-eat buffet with food and drinks tucked in every crevice you can find, ready to be snatched and consumed. It's in the cooler. I motion to the last row of seats right beside him. But I need you to get it for me. The arrogance. I'll get it for you. Indy pipes up with excitement, eager to do a job she doesn't need to do. I'm Indy. That would be me. The way he could act like an absolute poopy head to me, and I would just be like, yeah, okay. Because one, if he's good looking, look, I'm just a girl. I'm gonna be like, okay. And also I'm a people pleaser and I want to do my job well, so yeah, I'm relating a lot with Indy right now, not with my girl Stevie. Yes, Stevie. No need, Xander stops her. Stevie here will get it for me. Damn. My eyes narrow at him as his sparkling teeth finally show because he happens to find himself hilarious right now. He's not, he's annoying. Won't you, Stevie? I would like to tell him to F off, and not because I don't want to do my job, but because of the point he's trying to prove. He's trying to tell me that I work for him, but just because he's our client doesn't mean he can be rude and expect me not to be rude back. I hesitate, not wanting to make a bad impression in front of my new co-worker on our first day. I couldn't care less what this guy thinks of me, but I'd rather not look like a total biatch in front of Indy. Of course I will, my voice comes out too high, but neither of these people knows me well enough to realise I'm faking it. Sanders shifts, giving me the slightest opening to slip past him, and that alone makes me self-conscious. I'm not the smallest girl, and I'm not trying to embarrass myself by being unable to squeeze past him. A bit of my internal self-doubt surfaces before I catch it and replace it with the mask of confidence I've trained myself to wear. But Sanders moves a bit more out of the way, thankfully giving me space. I take one step, literally one step out of the galley, past Sanders to the cooler that he was so close to he was practically touching. I open the lid and pull out the first drink I see, which is sparkling water. This would have taken him less than 3 seconds to do, but he wanted to prove a point. As I pull his water from the cooler, I sense him looming over me. He's tall as hell, probably around 6'5", and over my 5'6" stature, he overpowers me. He barely leaves me enough space in the aisle to turn around, and when I do, I'm greeted with his chest right in my face. Honest to God, I'm glad as well. She's 5'6". Now, most of the books I read, most of the time, the girls are always so tiny. They're like 5'2", 5'3", and like, not that it's that big of a deal, but I'm always just like, where are my taller girls? I'm 5'7", so 5'6" still isn't tall, but I just appreciate that she's not minute, you know? Thank you so much, Stevie. He says my name in the same condescending manner that I did earlier as he lazily takes the bottle out of my hand. His long fingers slightly graze mine, all the while his hazel stare at me. His empty hand reaches up, adjusting my wings on my shirt, straightening out my dishevelled name tag. Don't touch me. His eyes hold mischief, amusement, and a whole lot of arrogance as they dance between mine, but I can't, for the life of me, find the will to break eye contact. My heart rate picks up, and not just because only a few layers of fabric separate his hand from my chest, but because I don't like the way he's looking at me. It's intense and focused, like I'm his new task this season. His task to make my job a living hell. Extra limes? Indy interrupts, holding out a napkin piled high with lime wedges. I really like Indy. I really like... She's just like an overachiever. I could just imagine her, me, that would be me. Xander's gaze breaks its stare as he looks back to Indy in the gallery, and an audible breath of relief leaves my lungs when his attention leaves me. Wow, thank you so much. Xander's tone holds far too much joy as he takes them from her. You're great at your job. Indy. Okay. He brushes her off, his attention's finding me again. Bending down slightly, he makes his eye level. Stevie, great work, he adds in farewell before taking off towards his seat. I stand up straight, composing myself as I smooch my uniform once again and... smooth my uniform once again and push my untamable curly hair out of my face. Please F off, Indy begs when it's only the two of us in the gallery again. What? Please, please, please F him and then tell me every little detail. I am not sleeping with him. Why the hell not? My brows furrow. Because we work for him, because he's in love with himself, and because I'm pretty sure he has with just about anything that has a... I doubt he knows their names when he screws them. And I don't fit the typical model-esque mould these guys go for. I don't get chosen by men like that, but I keep that insecurity to myself. I mean, I'll have to have a look after, like on like Pinterest or TikTok or something, when people find girls and the guys, like who they would put as the characters, and I bet she's gorgeous. I bet she's so gorgeous. Well, he knows your name, huh? He knows your name. She bends down close to me, making herself eye level, the same way as Anders did. Stevie, Indy whispers in a seductive voice before breaking into a giggle. Get out of here, I playfully push her away. As soon as all the passengers are boarded and the cabin doors are closed and armed, Indy and I lock up the gallery, ensuring everything is secure for takeoff. And as we do, the most magical, beautiful thing that has ever happened in my 4 years of flying occurs. Simultaneously, every one of the suited-up hockey players stands from their seats and begins to strip down until the only thing that's covered is their junk. Why? Sweet mother of, I drift off, unable to speak, my eyes bugged out of my head. What is happening? Indy asks in the same daze, her mouth gapes. The entire back half of the airplane is filled with naked men, toned booties and tattoos everywhere I look. Indy and I don't even pretend to act like we aren't staring. We are staring, and you couldn't pay us to look away. The players all carefully lay their suits flat in the overhead bins, be sure not to wrinkle them on the flight to Denver before they redress in more comfortable and casual clothing. Like the show ladies, one of the players playfully asks, breaking me out of my daze. His dark waves dance in front of his deep emerald eyes. That's Rio. I remember that description. Yes, Indy answers without hesitation. Indy's so funny. I like her. Like the show ladies? Yes. Well, enjoy. Happens every time we take off and land. We have to wear suits on and off the plane for the media, but whenever we're on board, we get to do whatever the F we want. That wasn't the case when I flew a basketball team. They walked on and off the plane as casually as they could be, so this is new. I've always wondered why hockey players have to wear suits. Because, like they've just said, like other sports teams don't. So I would love to know why they have to do that. I can come back there and give you guys a bit of view next flight. Rio, yeah, stop being so damn thirsty all the time. Another player calls out, this is the best job Indy gets. The stare still locked on the half-naked men. I love hockey, I decide without a second thought. Yeah, Indy right now, because I do think she's gets her own book because I recognise the name. I'm very excited for that because I think she's really funny. Okay. Chapter 3. Stevie. Throwing my suitcase on the opposite bed in my hotel room, I plug my charger into the wall, powering my phone. I forgot to charge it last night, so it died halfway through the flight to Denver. As I'm waiting for it to light up, I strip off my god-awful uniform, hang it in the closet, and dig out my comfiest sweats. I'm all about comfort. Give me sweatpants, leggings, and oversized flannels every day for the rest of my life, and I'll die a happy woman. Look, what is it with these women and oversized flannels? Anytime I read books like this, all the girls seem to wear is like leggings and an oversized flannel. I'm that person that when I read a book, I'm very visual, so I literally have like a little Pinterest like album in my phone of like outfits and stuff because I never like what the girls or the guys are wearing, and so I have to like look to visually see them in what I want to see them in. And I'll tell you something. In this book, if it gets mentioned that she's wearing an oversized flannel, just know that in my head she's not. She's wearing something a lot cuter. No diss to flannel wearers or lovers, but yeah. The polyester wool mixture of my flight uniform is stiff and unflattering, and my first mission after every flight is to get it off as quickly as possible. My phone dings on my nightstand, and without looking, I already know who it is. It's the only person I can't do a day without speaking to, my best friend. Ryan is the only person who chooses me first, above everyone else, day in and day out. His name with the twin dancing emoji next to it confirms who I already knew who it was. Ryan, how was your first flight? Me. It was good. Hockey boys are nice for the most part. I leave out the fact that I'm working for the NHL's biggest diva this season. Ryan, those Canadians, am I right? But you know you miss flying basketball. Me. I don't know, Ryan. Have you seen a hockey man's ass? I can't say ass in a British accent. It doesn't sound right. Anyway, I digress. Ryan, proud to say I have not and never will. Me, speaking of basketball, are you ready for your game tonight? Ryan, absolutely. Gonna miss having you in the stands though. I need my good luck charm. Sounds kind of flirty, I can't lie. Ryan's basketball season and my flying season have always overlapped, and now that I'm working with hockey, their schedules are the same. I haven't made too many of his games since he went pro, but I always make sure to watch him however I can. I'm his self-proclaimed good luck charm, but seeing as the Chicago Devils haven't had a winning season in 3 years... Sorry. I don't think my charm is working too well. Me, I'll be watching. There's a sports bar a few blocks away. I'm sure they'll have it on TV. Ryan, or you could watch it from your hotel room. Alone. I'm trying to feel what this vibe is. A laugh slips from my lips. Ryan knows he has no control over who I spend my time with, but he may be the most protective brother of all time. Wait. Ryan's her brother? You see, I'm so bad with names. So was Ryan the guy she was texting earlier? That's the brother? Or is that her brother? I'm your older oh, okay. Ew. Sorry. Erase what I just said earlier. Okay, his name's Ryan. Ryan is Stevie's brother. Remember that. Too protective. Ryan, I'm your older brother, it's my job. Me, 3 minutes older. Right, oh, they're twins. Ryan, still counts. Got to get to the arena, be safe. Love you, V. Me, love you, kick-ass. As soon as I exit out of our messages, I re-download my Tinder app. Damn, okay. I never use the apps when I'm home, but one of the perks of spending a good amount of time on the road is the casual hookup with a stranger. Oh, period. I feel more confident in bed when it's someone I know I'll never see again. I don't worry too much about how my body looks or how soft I feel under someone random. I get to let loose and feel good with the sole purpose of getting up, knowing they'll never lay eyes on me again. I swipe right on a few attractive men, but I swipe left on even more who are too handsome for their own good. And Denver's men seem to be more beautiful than other cities I visit, so I swipe left on more than usual, making sure I don't get connected with someone I find to be too attractive. I deal with enough insecurities on my own that I'm working to overcome. I don't need to add batting out of my league just to get laid. So I stick to men I find attractive enough, but not so much so that their typical type are girls who may as well be on cover of magazines. Within a matter of minutes, almost everyone I swipe right on matches with me. Okay, giving me a boost of confidence, as it should, Queen. Shopping through my options, I land on a guy who lives outside of the city with his bio reading, just looking for a hookup. I love the honesty, and that's precisely what I'm looking for too. As I'm drafting my extremely charming and witty opening line, there's a knock at my hotel room door. Dropping my phone on the bed, I throw a sweatshirt over my head before squinting through the peephole, finding my other new co-worker Tara on the other side. Hey, I swing my door open with a smile. Can I come in? She asks without much expression on her face, which makes me worried, but also I just worked an entire flight with her, and not once did she smile unless it was directed at one of our passengers. Of course, I usher her in. She takes a seat in the chair at the desk as I plop myself back on the edge of my bed. How was your first day? Tara asks. Oh, okay, so she's being nice. It was great, everyone seems really cool. I heard you worked with the professional athletes before. Yeah, I was flying a basketball team out of Charlotte the last few seasons, but this is my first time working for a hockey team. I assumed that would start a conversation about my past work experience, as most people flip out with excitement when they learn I work for a professional basketball team, but instead it leads her into the real reason she's here, to try to intimidate me. Well, this isn't your last job, so I want to reiterate some rules. And here we go. First of all, Tara begins. I'm the lead flight attendant, which means this is my airplane. Oh, it's not. Queen, my crew, and my hockey team. No, I don't care that you have experience in the athletic charter business. I'm the one in charge here. Of course, I respond without a second thought. I know these type of girls. I've worked with them before. They want to be seen, they want to be known by the clients, and I'm not one for a power struggle. I couldn't care less who's in charge on the airplane. I'm just here to do my job. Get in, get out, and get paid. That's all that this is to me. A job. For now. I'll be up in the front with the coaching staff all season while you and Indy run the back of the plane with the players. But I want to reiterate, there will be no fraternising with any of our clients, players, coaches or staff. If you do, you'll be fired. Do you understand? Yes. I confidently state. She's trying to intimidate me, but that's not going to work. I'm in charge here. She continues. Anything the team needs goes through me. Sounds good. I don't know how your last job worked and I don't care. Anything goes down with you and someone on board, especially a player, you're fired. She's such an unbothered queen, and I love that. And she's just getting so overworked and angry for nothing. Does she not realise she already said that? Yeah. Also, why is she so worried about me? They're not my type and I'm not theirs. Got it. Glad we're on the same page. She stands from the desk and begins to head towards my door. Oh, and Stevie, she turns back to face me, her expression filled with the most foxed concern I've ever seen. Maybe think about getting a... Oh, I'm fuming. Maybe think about getting a bigger uniform. The one you wore today was awfully tight, and I don't want the guys on board getting the wrong idea. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a classic example of jealousy. The green-eyed monster. Because she's seen her. Look, she is insecure, but I know that this girl is gorgeous, naturally beautiful, and I know that she's a bit more curvy, but I know that that uniform looked damn good on her, and she's jealous. She's jealous. That's it. She's jealous. I'm just so mad. Oh god. It's bad enough when men comment on women's bodies, but when other women comment on women's bodies, it just... me off. A lump in my throat forms as she exits my room. I know it was tighter than I wanted it to be, but that's just because my weight fluctuates all the time. Because everybody's does. Water retention and all that, and just being a woman. I wasn't doing it on purpose. I wasn't trying to wear a body-hugging outfit in an attempt to lure in some attention, but my body isn't a size 2, and everywhere you go, and everywhere you could possibly find a curve, I've got some. On the other hand, Tara's uniform was tailored to hug her narrow frame, and the top couple buttons were unnecessarily undone, causing the cleavage from her push-up bra to be front and centre. You stop burping. It was especially noticeable when she would bend forward in front of someone's seat to ask what they wanted to eat or drink, but you don't see me saying anything to her. Regardless, Tara throwing my biggest insecurity in my face puts a damper on my night, and I suddenly have no desire for anyone to see my naked body, regardless of the fact I'll never have to see them again. An alert pings on my phone, a message from that guy on Tinder asking what my plans are for the night, but I don't respond. I delete the app entirely over the whole idea. Instead, I change into a pair of leggings, an oversized thrifted tee, and a flannel, finishing my outfit off with my Air Force Ones. When was this book released? Because maybe it's more fitted to the time. But just know, she's not wearing that. If I can be bothered, I'll find an outfit that I want her to wear. She's not wearing that. I grab my purse, sling the strap across my body and head out the door to the bar I found a few blocks away so I can watch my brother's home opener of the season, or while I am scarfing down on a burger and a beer. 2 beers. Probably 3 beers. F it, let's not put a limit on it. However many beers it'll take to make me forget about how poopy I feel. The walk is nice with Denver's October breeze blowing my curls away from my face. This bar is unexpectedly packed tonight. It's a Monday night and none of Denver's team are playing, so I didn't expect a sports bar with wall-to-wall TVs to be as crowded as it is. But thankfully, lock in. But I thankfully find a solo seat at the bar and sidle up, making myself comfortable to spend the next 3 or so hours watching my brother's game. What can I get you? The bartender leans forward a little more than necessary, but he's easy on the eyes, so I let it slide. Do you have any IPA on draft? He gives me an impressed glance. I don't drink beers. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Sanitas? Sanias? Black IPA, I don't know, 12 or 16 ounces? What language are they talking? What kind of question is that? 16 please, I have no clue what any of this means. As he comes back with my perfectly poured beer, he places it on a coaster and leans over the bar once again. Where are you from? A flirtatious smile plays on his lips. I look over my shoulder, not entirely convinced the hot bartender is talking to me. Finding no one behind me, I turn back to him, his blue eyes locked on mine. Chicago currently, just in town for work. Oh yeah, how long are you in town for? Only the night. His shy smile is now a full-on devilish grin. That's what I'm imagining. Glad you found my bar top for your one night in town. Anything you need, I'm your guy. I'm Jax, by the way. He puts his hand over the wooden countertop to shake mine. Stevie, I place my hand in his, noting the veins and muscles of his forearms that continue up under the sleeve of his black button-down shirt. Suddenly, my original plan for the night doesn't sound all that bad. Oh! Actually, I do need something from you, Jax. Anything. His eyes twinkling with mischief. I lean forward, crossing my arms on the bar top and bringing my most flirtatious grin, wearing my mask of confidence once again. Can you put that TV? I gestured to the large screen directly behind me, on the Devils and Bucks game. It's on ESPN. His eyes narrow, but his lips tilt even more. Beer and basketball girl, huh, Stevie? What do I have to do to keep you at my bar top all night? Depends how many beers you pour me. He lets out a deep, sexy laugh. Your glass will never be left empty. The skin around my eyes crinkles with satisfaction. This is what I needed. A little attention from a cute guy, my brother's game on the screen, and a beer in my hand. I feel better already. And I'll take a burger when you get a chance. Damn Stevie, Jax exhales. Stop making me fall in love with you. Okay. He shoots me a wink over his shoulder before redirecting his attention to the computer where he places my food order. My food has taken a little longer than I thought it would, but I don't mind. The bartender's attention and the first quarter of the basketball game keep me plenty occupied, not to mention my second beer. Tara's little remark about my uniform is less so at the forefront of my mind, though I realise now why it bothered me as much as it did. It's not just because that's an insecurity of my own, but how she said it was very similar to how my mother talks about my body. Oh no. It's never direct, it's always backhanded, because how dare a southern lady speak so directly? They don't do that. I understand that my mother is a perfect southern belle with an overactive metabolism, but that's not me, and it's never been me. I've got big tatas and a big booty and an even bigger desire never to become the kind of woman she is. I love her, but she's judgmental. I've never felt like enough in her eyes. I grew up playing with the boys because my twin brother was my best friend, and he was much more fun than any debutante ball or pageant my mother was so adamant about me participating in. When I was in college, I refused to rush a sorority, which almost did her in. It's big in the South, and my mother's entire side of women have all attended the same university in Tennessee and rushed the same sorority. I'm a legacy. It would have been easy for me, but I don't want to be anything like them. And when she realised she lost the battle of me being a real proper Southern woman, her attitude towards me quickly shifted to disappointment. Her attention was no longer focused on how great I'd be in Southern society, and instead how different my body looked from hers. Unfortunately, it's become ingrained in me, making me believe something is wrong with me. My shape became more womanly the older I got, but my mum, she's not used to curves, and in her mind, I'm overweight simply because we don't share the same proportions. But I don't know what she expected. Her husband, the other half of my DNA, looks nothing like the ginger hair, freckled, thin-framed side of my mum's family. My parents couldn't be more different. Sure, there's the physical disparities. My dad is a black man and my mum is a white woman, but more than that, their personalities are polar opposites. My dad is funny and kind and nurturing. My mum is cold, distant and outright mean sometimes. I want to be proud that I'm half of a remarkable man, but it's hard to be proud of anything when my mother is disappointed in everything I do, and for some reason now it seeps in more than it used to. As the bartender places my burger down in front of me, a quick regret paces through my mind. The more I think about my mother, the less appealing this food sounds. No. Maybe I should have ordered a salad with the dressing on the side. Maybe my uniform will fit a little better tomorrow if I eat that instead. If you don't start eating that burger, I'm going to scarf it down myself, Jack the bartender says, pulling me out of my self-doubt trance. I don't share food, I tease, pulling my plate closer to me. His chest heaves in a laugh as he pours me another IPA, I hope I'm saying that right, IPA. I don't know. Placing it next to my previous one that's still half full. What is wrong with me? This guy is good, and there's a good chance he's going to get lucky tonight, if not from me, then by one of the beautiful women filling this bar and desperate for the attention of a hot bartender. But at this rate, I wouldn't mind it being me. My eyes stay glued to the game on the screen as Ryan starts the second quarter. He's leading the team in assists tonight, as he should. He's the point guard and the best playmaker in the league. The Devils run a motion offence on their first time down the court as Ryan gets open for a three in the corner. Look, you lose me when you start talking sports, because what the heck are they talking about? His teammate kicks the ball to him and he sinks a shot. Kicks the ball? I thought they were playing basketball, right? You don't kick a basketball. I don't know. F yes, Rye, I ring out much louder than I intended. Devils fan, huh? Jax asks. His eyes panning to the TV, then back to me. Stevie, I hate to break it to you, but this might be the end of our love affair. I laugh mid-chew. You don't have to be a Devils fan, just a fan of number 5. Ryan Shea? Who isn't a fan of Ryan Shea? Best point guard in the league. Damn right he is. I pop a fry in my mouth, and he's my brother. Bullcrap. I continue to eat, not needing to convince him one way or another. Are you for real? Before I can respond, someone in my peripheral view holds an empty glass in the air for a refill, drawing my attention. I just skipped over and I saw the name, so I know who it is. Okay. My gaze immediately falls on 2 guys from the plane. The one holding his glass up is the player with dark curly hair who promised a peep show next time he changed on board. Rio, I think his name is. And the other one is the person I was happiest to see get off the plane, Evan Sanders. I unintentionally roll my eyes. Fully dressed up to the nines, he probably took 3 times longer than I did getting ready as he brings his whiskey glass to his full lips, resting them on the rim before he takes a drink. He doesn't see me, and he's not doing it to be seductive to anyone in particular, but the guy naturally oozes. It's really effing annoying. I immediately turn back to the bartender. I need my check and a box, please. What? He asks confused, his eyes darting back to my full beer. Tara's warning of fraternization rings through my mind. The idea of finishing my food, beer, and ending my night with this hot bartender between my legs sounds fantastic, but not as fantastic as keeping my job. If it were anyone else from the plane, I might stay and hide in the crowd while I finish watching the game, but the fact that it's Evan Sanders, of all people, makes me want to leave even more. He was exhausting all flight, ringing the call light for absolutely anything he could think of, and if one of the other 2 girls went to see what he needed, he always sent them back for me. Like, I like it. Like, he wants you, girl. He doesn't realise it, but he does. He's going to make my season on the plane a living hell. I don't need him intruding on my time off too. I need to get going, I tell Jax. Can I get the bill? Is everything okay? He's clearly confused and I don't blame him. I spent the whole time flirting with him, both of us having an unspoken hope of where our night would end once he's off work. But he's an attractive guy with a bar full of women. He'll be just fine finding a warm body for the night. Just gotta get going. Sorry. I finish with an apologetic smile. Jax brings me a box and my check, leaving off all my drinks from the bill. I quickly transfer my food and have my credit card off to be swiped, but it's too late. Before my card makes it back to me, 2 large hands land on the bathtub on either side of my body, caging me in. His fingers are long and slender, decorated with gold rings. Yes. Every knuckle is tattered, including the back of his hands, and his nails are cleanly manicured. Oh. Yes, every knuckle is tattered. All 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Ooh, I keep my eyes glued to the ridiculously expensive watch on his wrist as he leans down behind me with his lips close to my ear. Stevie, Xander says in his smooth, velvety voice, "You following me?" Okay, I mean, she was literally sat in there like hours before you came, but damn. They painted a really nice picture of him in my head. Look, he's clearly douchey, but he's fine. And what do you mean? Chapter 4. Xander's. Madison stuck true to his word and went straight to bed after meeting with his friends for dinner. On the other hand, I refuse to call it a night at 9:30, especially because it's the first night on the road of the season. I live for this. I get plenty of action at home and thoroughly enjoy my summers in Chicago, but there's a different kind of thrill when it comes to kitty cat meow meow on the road. The unknown of who it'll be, the excitement of where it'll happen, the satisfaction that I don't have to see them ever again if I don't want to. That's how I like it. Which is why I didn't reply to either of the girls from Denver who slid into my DMs earlier. The thrill was gone. It was no longer exciting. Another round? Rio asked. I quickly examined my half-full whiskey glass, knowing I don't need another. I tried to keep my limit to 2 during the season, especially the night before a game. It's one thing to stay up late and get laid, but I'm not dumb enough to get effed up and play hungover. I'm going to nurse this one, raising my glass to his. I take another small sip. Rio proceeds to lift his hands towards the server, signalling for a new drink, his third of the night, which, if I'm still around by the time he tries for a fourth, I'll make sure to stop him. I'm not the captain, but I'm the alternate, and even though I F around, I still have responsibilities to make sure my guys are ready to go when it's game time. As I'm deep in thought about how this is my year to win it all, the cup, and the new extended contract I need to earn by the end of the season, the sexy server comes by with Rio's fresh drink, but she doesn't look his way while she places his beverage in front of him. No, she keeps her sultry gaze locked on me. Can I get you another one? She leans her elbows onto our high-top table, casually pushing her boobies up even more. My eyes fall directly on them. It's on me, and my mind doesn't miss the connection of where I'm looking and what she just said. I wouldn't mind those being on me either. Somehow I turn my attention away from the slit in her cleavage that's doing all kinds of things to my imagination. Self-inflicted 2-drink rule, I raise my glass to show her my final drink of the night. That's a shame. She bites her lower lip, leaning in closer to me. I was hoping you'd still be here when my shift was over. That was easy. I haven't said 2 words to her before this, but she's hot as hell, and her long raven hair is going to look awfully pretty wrapped around my fist tonight. I lean onto my elbows, my face only inches from hers. Just because I'm not drinking doesn't mean I'm leaving. I'm Meg Xander's. I know who you are. The corner of her lips lift upwards. I'm off at midnight and my place is only 10 minutes away. My hotel is right across the street, I offer. Even better, she licks her lip. I never get that. And my eyes trail the movement. Those are gonna look even prettier wrapped around a different part of my body. Oh God, I have a certain way. I'm so shy. No lovemaking, no soft and slow. God, I hope my parents can't hear me. No kissing if I can help it. I'll explain the rules, and if she's into it, cool. If not, someone else will be. Damn. What's he gonna do? A quick shift of chestnut curls draws my attention in the distance. My eyes follow the movement, instantly recognizing the honey strands intermixed among the mass. The owner of the curly hair spent the entire flight waiting on me, hand and foot, getting me absolutely everything I could possibly think to ask for, down to a tissue out of the bathroom. I'm a doo-doo head, but it was fun. Stevie hastily puts her credit card in the bartender's hand as she stands from her seat, ready to bowl. She's dressed much more casually than her work uniform today, but even with the oversized flannel, I can see just how nice her booty is from here. I'm a booty guy. And a booby guy. She's got both, but a disdain for me turns me off from the rest. Or challenges me, I'm not sure yet. Sanders Rio snaps me out of my trance. She's talking to you. He suggestively nods towards the waitress who is currently offering up her body to me. Yeah, I am. Oh my God, this word is gonna kill me. I absent-mindedly ask, my eyes still flickering to the flight attendant at the bar. Are you going to wait until my shift is over, or can I get your number? No numbers. Meg, she reminds him. You can find me on Instagram. My eyes dart back to Stevie at the bar, her foot tapping with either impatience or nerves, I can't quite tell. Without another thought, I stand from my seat, my feet carrying me her way. Sanders, Rio calls out in shock. Can't help himself. I'm a little surprised at myself too. That waitress is a smoke show, but the most fun I've had in a long time was torturing Stevie on our flight today, and I want to do it again. I'm sure that waitress will still be waiting for me when I get back. I did practically nothing so far, and she's already offered up her bed for the night. I quickly approach Stevie from behind, my tall frame overpowering her as I cage her in, placing my hands on the bar top next to her small ones that are decorated with dainty gold rings. To be fair, like, while this is a book, I'm like... But like, in real life, if I'd literally only met this guy on this flight, and then the next time I see him, he's like caging me in, I'd be a little bit creeped out. I'd say, back up. Like, I don't want you touching me like that. I don't know you like that. Especially because he wasn't being nice to me. It's not like we were like all pally on the flight. Like, like, you were being really rude to me and now you're doing this. Like, it comes across a little bit predatory. Where was I? Stevie, I bend down close to her ear. You following me? The steam almost rolls off her red cheeks. Standing this close to her, the rosiness of her face is more evident than it was today. Her skin is a pretty shade of light brown, but it's contrasted by pink cheeks and freckled skin. Another thing I didn't notice was the small gold hoop in her nose, or the numerous gold rings that decorate her fingers and ears. She nervously spins the one on her thumb. Seems like you're following me, she retorts. She refuses to turn around, most likely because I have her locked in, and she'll be faced with my chest as she was today on the plane when I bombarded her. But I hope she does. I like seeing her falter and flustered. After a little arrogant show during the security briefing, I had a blast putting her in her place, reminding her of who she works for. But still she doesn't turn around, so I lean to the side, resting an elbow on the bar top, until finally she faces me, doing the same thing. My hotel is right across the street, so what's your excuse? She nods towards the TV. Closest sports bar I could find. I need to watch this game. And yet you're leaving before half-time. I can watch the rest in my room. She frantically glances around the bar, looking for that sleazy bartender, I'm sure. So he clearly had been watching her previously to see her interacting with the sleazy bartender. And he's calling him sleazy because he's jealous, but he doesn't realise that he's jealous yet. What's the rush? Truthfully, I don't want to be in the same bar as you. You're kind of a doo-doo head. My head falls back in laughter and a confused but playful smile dances on her lips. Well, I think you're kind of a brat, so it is what it is. I searched her freckled face, looking for any sign of offence, but there isn't any. Instead, a bit of amusement shines in her blue-green eyes, which makes me like her a little bit more. But not too much more. I can't imagine most people would react this way if they were called a brat right to their face. My stare wanders her frame. Even though her shirt is oversized, I can still make out the shape of her boobies and waist. Her outfit is casual and thrown together, whereas mine was planned and prepped. You sure you have to go? The douchebag bartender asks Stevie as he places her credit card and receipt on the bar top in front of her. I do, her tone is laced with regret. Thanks for the drinks, Jax. Jax? Even his name screams, I'm a tool. Yeah, thanks, Jax. I add his name on in a condescending tone, but you can go now. He's being a little... Excuse me, both Stevie and the bartender say at the same time. You can go now, I repeat, brushing him away with a simple motion. Jax looks from Stevie back to me, his expression full of confusion, before he shakes his head and walks away. Why are you such a prick? She asks in a tone full of disgust. Well, that's a loaded question, so instead I deflect. That guy is a prick. No, that guy was nice and we have good banter. You just ruined it. You weren't going home with him anyway. How do you know? Because you're leaving with a full beer still on the counter and a half a game left to watch. She shifts the two receipts, slips on the bar top. He left me his number, she smugly adds, nodding towards the receipt on the bar, and the night is still young. Without thinking, I grab it from the bar and rip it into pieces that would be too small for her to put back together. Okay, and I'm not quite sure why I did that, other than I like pissing her off. That's so petty. You see, aesthetically, yes. Everything else, no. What the hell is wrong with you? Literally. Doing you a favour, Stevie, you can thank me later. F you, Sanders. I paused for a moment as I studied Stevie's face, noting the real anger spewing off her. Your little bartender boyfriend was grabbing that waitress's bum. I nodded towards the blonde server at a table every time they passed in and out of the kitchen. Then when she wasn't looking, he was making out with that waitress. I motioned towards a different one, this one with brown hair, by the bathroom. Now, I'm not opposed to multiple women, but at least I make sure they know about each other. This guy is a tool. You're lying. I don't lie. Stevie's eyes flicker with disappointment before regaining their false confidence. Well, maybe I don't care, she challenges. Do we believe him? Do we believe he was doing that? Because he seemed pretty into her. I don't know if I fully believe him. I don't know. Well, maybe I don't care, she challenges. You care. You're a booty hole. We've been over this, Stevie. I already know. I take a $20 bill out of my wallet, placing it for a tip. Oh my, this guy shouldn't be getting a cent from her or me, but I especially don't want her over-tipping when he was being a sleaze all night. Why do you care? I have my own money. Good for you. I condescendingly pat her shoulder. Okay, now spill. Spill what? Why are you following me? Are you in love with me already, Stevie? Slow your roll, sweetheart. It's only been one day. This guy. She lets out an arrogant laugh. You're in love with yourself. Someone's got to be. The statement holds way more truth than she realises. Ooh, okay. Her eyes flicker back to the television screen above the bar. Are you a Devils fan? She ignores me, keeping her attention locked at the time clock winds down into halftime. Huh? She absent-mindedly asks as the Devils point guard takes a shot at the buzzer but misses, causing the game to go into halftime tied. Damn it. You're a Devils fan, I repeat, this time as a statement unless as a question, but I don't like that she ignored me the first time. I'm not used to that. Yeah, something like that. She swings her purse strap over her shoulder and across her chest, separating her boobies. My eyes fall right to them. Her body is banging, full of curves. She should show it off, not cover it up with baggy and oversized clothes that seem like they've seen better days. I do agree with him on that. Well, now that you've successfully cock-blocked me, Stevie begins. Can I go? My attention darts back to the raven hair waitress, her eyes lingering on me as she marries 2 ketchup bottles. She's trying to be seductive about it, but it's kind of weird the way she's smirking at me from across the room as she hits the bottom of the ketchup bottle with the heel of her hand. I just wanted to paint that picture for you guys. I agree, that is weird. My phone dings in my pocket, breaking my uncomfortable stare, and I find a message from my older sister, Lindsay. Hey Ev, not to put a damper on your first road game of the season, but Mum got a hold of my phone number. I don't know how, but she's called 3 times already trying to get a hold of you. Long story short, don't answer any unknown callers. Miss you, little brother. T, want to know his story, because I don't think it's a nice one. My lips fall open as I continue to stare at my phone screen. I haven't heard a peep about my mum in 2 years since she showed up at one of my games and begged me for money, to which I, of course, said no. She'd gotten a hold of my phone number, called non-stop, and finally showed up in person. I can't keep my whereabouts private, my game schedule is past and online, but she's one of the reasons I'm so selective about people having my phone number. I've had to change it more times than I can count. Are you okay? A soft voice asks. Huh? I look up, finding Stevie's blue-green eyes gentle and concerned. My confidence has faltered at the moment, and there are only a selective few I break down my walls in front of. The flight attendant with an attitude is not one of them. I'm fine, I snap, feeling seen. Damn, never mind. The bar suddenly seems overcrowded and hot. I'm not claustrophobic, but it currently feels like I might be. I close my empty fist, my palms are clammy as a rush of warm air hits my cheeks. My vision slightly blurring. I attempt to take a breath, but there's no air in the room. Fudge, I haven't had one of these in years. Without a word or a second thought, I bolt out the front door of the bar. Once outside, I glance in both directions, looking for some space. The streets are crowded with people, most of which have turned their attention to me. Usually I live for the stares, the cheers, the recognition, but tonight I need to get as far away from anyone with eyes as I can. Jogging across the street, I instinctively turn down a few blocks, having no idea where I'm going, but relying on my panic-stricken body to find a quiet space. A park comes into view, but people are taking up all the benches in sight. I find a large tree with a big enough trunk to hide behind. Without thinking twice, I sink my bum to the grass, my expensive-ass poop Armani pants instantly cooling from the wet ground. Inhale, exhale, anchor yourself. Where am I? Denver, a park. What colour are the benches? Blue. Why am I feeling this way? because my mother is a gold digger who left her children and husband for someone with more money, because my mother is selfish as F and now she wants my money. She doesn't want me, she doesn't love me, she just wants my money. Rage seeps in again. The only thing that brings on panic attacks for me is blind rage, but I can't let it control me. The near decade of therapy has taught me that I can't let the panic win. I can't let my mother win. Why am I feeling this way? Because she doesn't love me, because she chose money over my sister and me, but it doesn't matter because I love myself. That's what therapy has taught me, to love myself, and I do, unapologetically and without question. I love myself. Someone's got to inhale, exhale. And I do get that, but he's also now taking it to too much of a place that it's like, I love myself so much that I'm better than everybody else, like hooked on everybody else, which also is not good for you. So the panic is gone. I no longer feel hot and flustered. Why do I feel like my girl Stevie saw all this? And then she's like, oh my god, I just saw a different side to him. He's not the egotistical, confident guy that I thought. He has issues too. I no longer feel hot and flustered and able to breathe. I fought it off. I didn't let it get to me. I stopped it before it really started. Letting out a deep breath, I draped my elbows on my knees and dropped my head between my shoulders. I completely bailed on my tab at the bar, but Rio can cover me. I'll get him back next time. Pulling out my phone without rereading my sister's text, I respond, me. Thanks for letting me know, Linz. Love you. Please visit soon. I've only ever loved a handful of people in my life, and those people are the Madisons and my sister. That's it, and that's all I plan on. That's all I need. We'll see about that, sir. Lindsay, looking at my calendar now, I'll get something on the books as soon as the office slows down. Please do me a favour and stay out of the penalty box this year. Me. That's what they pay me the big bucks for. I'm the a-hole from Chicago who doesn't give a poop about anyone, remember? Lindsay, sure. She finishes with a crying laughing emoji because she knows me. I'm not that guy, but that's what I let people believe. It's easier that way. I don't get hurt that way. Chapter 5. Sanders. Here we are with the notorious duo from the Chicago Raptors, Ellie Madison and Evan Sanders. The reporter from the Chicago Tribune states, his voice is wafting through the speakerphone as we sit in a random conference room in Denver's arena pre-game. I look over to Madison, the only other person in this room. Notorious duo, I silently mouth. Madison rolls his eyes, but his chest heaves with a quiet laugh. Madison, congratulations on your newborn son. Thanks, Jerry. My best friend leans forward, so the phone in the centre of the conference table finds his voice more clearly. My wife and I are stoked to add another to the Madison family. And Ella, how's she liking being a big sister? She loves it, Madison laughs. She's a fiery little one, and she's stoked to have a sibling to boss around in the future. Well, we can't wait to see you, your wife, and the kids at the next home game in Chicago. This is typically how the conversations go. Reporters start off with all the sweet, sentimental stuff with Madison, then move on to me. And as Jerry begins using my nickname, how we doing, boss? Doing good, doing good. Not as good as you are, I assume. Your mug was plastered online last week, with your latest flavour leaving the arena after your home opener. Someone we should know about? Why these reporters feel the need to constantly talk about my sex life is beyond me, but my persona perceived in the media makes me a hell of a lot of money, so I let it slide, though I have no idea who he's referring to from last week. Sorry, I was trying to think of who that could be. I don't know if I'm meant to know. Come on, Jerry, I tease. It's me you're talking to. When has there ever been someone you need to know about? My bad, he laughs. I almost forgot I'm talking to Evan Sanders here. You probably haven't cared about a woman for more than 24 hours since your mother. Oh my god. Do they really get this personal when doing these press conferences? Because that just seems... like, the most press conferencey stuff that I've ever seen is with, like, football, like, English soccer football. And they don't be talking that openly about stuff. My eyes dart to Madison at the mention of my mother. No one knows about my family situation outside of my family and his. I pay good money to my PR team to keep it that way. Madison gives me an apologetic half smile. Sounds about right, I force a laugh into the speakerphone, hating the way the words taste as they come off my tongue. Jerry, let's talk hockey. Madison quickly changes the subject. Yes, let's. You two have quite the team behind you this year. How do you feel about the cup? This is our year, Madison states. Nodding in agreement, I add, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, we believe the group of guys wearing a Raptors jersey this year has the potential to be holding the Stanley Cup by the end of the season. Madison and I look across the conference room table at each other laser focused. When it comes to hockey, and especially this season, we don't F around. This is our year to win it all. At 28, Madison and I are both going into our 7th NHL season, and we finally have all the pieces to bring it home. Xander's the enforcer. Do you think you'll ease up on the penalty box minutes this year? Depends, I lean back in my chair. On. If these other teams play clean, I will too. But if you come after my guys, I'll be the one you're answering to. The penalty box doesn't scare me. That's what I'm on this team for, to protect my guys and make sure they don't get hurt. But judging by the last 6 seasons, I can't imagine this year being any different. You do love yourself a good hockey brawl, Jerry laughs. Well, he's not wrong there. And what do you have to lose, he continues. You throw your punches, get your minutes in the box, then leave with a different woman on your arm each night. We all know you, Ez. You don't give a poop about anyone other than yourself, and that's why Chicago loves you. You're the biggest a-hole in the league, but you're our a-hole. This reporter seems way too comfortable, doesn't he? Madison leans back in his chair, his brows furrowed and arms crossed over his chest. He shakes his head in frustration, but he knows how this works. We've been doing it for years. I take a deep breath, plastering on a smile even though the reporter can't see it. You got that right. The city's golden boy and Chicago's unlovable bad boy, Jerry adds. My favourite headline to use when it comes to you two. We continue to talk about the team and our goals for this season, but every few questions reverts to me and my personal life. Talking about the women I leave the arena with, my photograph nights out in the city, drinking and partying. Though I always remind him those nights are never before a game. Anytime Madison or I try to shift the conversation to active minds of Chicago. Our charity foundation, supporting underprivileged young athletes that don't have the mental health resources they need, Jerry steers the conversation back to me and my bachelor lifestyle. I get that this is the image I've built for myself over the last 7 years, and it's the reason my paychecks are as big as they are, but I would really like to advertise our charity work too. It's the one thing in my life that I'm genuinely proud of. Madison and I started building the foundation back when he first moved to Chicago. We both needed to start donating our time and money to charities, so creating this organisation made sense. We've rallied professional athletes from around the city to share their own mental health journey in an effort to try to break the stigma surrounding the topic in athletes, especially male athletes. Period. We raise money through monthly events to cover the cost of therapy sessions for kids who might not be able to afford it but need the help, as well as reach out to doctors and therapists who are willing to donate their time. I can't imagine how different my life would be if I had these kind of services when I was younger. A lot of the anger and abandonment I felt could have been expressed through words instead of dirty plays on the ice. Thanks for your time, Jerry, Madison says once all the probing questions have been asked. He ends the call on the conference room phone. We aren't doing this shit anymore. Ooh, I just actively swore. I was too into it. We have to. Z, they make you look like a prick. You can't even talk about active minds without them changing the subject to who you're effing or fighting. Madison stands from the table in frustration. I'm frustrated too. I don't give a poop if they want to talk about my personal life, but it would be nice if the media would mention the good things I do for the community too. Most people don't know I'm half the face of our foundation. They assume that it's Madison's charity because it fits the whole nice family guy image. It wouldn't make much sense for the media's narrative that I'm this a-hole who doesn't give a poop about anyone but also happens to be the co-founder of a charity for underprivileged youth suffering from mental illness. We aren't doing this anymore. I'm tired of everyone thinking you're this doo-doo head who doesn't have feelings. The way they talk about you, Z. Madison makes his way to the door of the conference room shaking his head. Madison's such a nice friend. I don't have feelings, I quickly counter. Yes, you do. At least not until June when I'm holding that Stanley Cup and a new extended contract in my hands. You don't have feelings? Madison asks, unconvinced. You cried while watching Coco with Ella. You have effing feelings, man. You should start letting people know. Don't use Coco against me. That poop was sad. I stand from my seat, following him to the locker room to get suited up for our game. That song at the end, it gets me every time. Fun fact, I've never seen Coco. Let me know if you'd like me to react to it. As soon as my bum hits my seat on the airplane for our flight home, I melt into it with a sigh. That loss was brutal, and I played like poop. I wasn't focused tonight, and I take full responsibility for that. I didn't expect for us to take an L so soon. In fact, I figured we wouldn't go at least 10 games without putting a tally in the loss column. That's how good we are. But tonight just wasn't our night. It's a long season though, we'll be fine. My phone dings in my pocket and I pull it out as the rest of the team boards the plane, finding 2 texts waiting for me. I reluctantly open the first one from my agent. Rich. Ez, my guy, I had a girl waiting for you outside of the locker room tonight and you blew right past her. It would have been a prime time for the media to get some pictures of you two leaving the arena. What's up with that? Oh my god. This is actually really sad. In frustration, I stretch my neck and blow out a deep exhale. I can get my own girls, and it happens plenty without Rich setting it up for me. The media gets the whole man-whore thing. I don't need to act it out. That was evident by our pre-game interview with the Chicago Tribune when we couldn't get 2 words in about hockey or our charity. After the shitty loss... Oh, I did it again! Oh, maybe I'll get better at swearing reading this book. And hearing about my mother twice in 24 hours, I wasn't in the mood to add fuel to the fire. Most of North America knows that I'm a playboy. Taking a night off isn't going to change my image and therefore lose me my contract next season. Ignoring Rich, I move on to my next text. My expression completely shifts, contrary to the frustrated one I've been spotting all night. Your wife texted me. I nudged Madison to show him the text and picture Logan sent me. It's the cutest effing thing I've ever seen in a while. My unbiological niece, Ella Jo, is posted up about 2 feet away from their TV, her neck craned and her eyes glued to the screen watching our game. The big ass bow somewhat tames the crazy hair on her head, and the best part is the jersey she's wearing. She's sporting number 11 with Uncle Z stitched right there on the back. Logan, do not show my husband this. He will kill me for letting her wear this, but I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing your favourite girl wearing your number. What the F? Madison says in shock, seeing his 3-year-old daughter decked out in someone else's jersey other than his. 3 little dots dance along my screen before another text from Logan rolls in. Logan, and since you love to piss off my husband, I assume you're showing him right now. She knows us both way too well. Logan, hi baby, I love you. Please don't kill me. Madison finally laughs. If Ella was wearing that poop tonight, it's no wonder we lost. A smug smile slides across his lips as he leans back and laces his hands together, contently resting them on his stomach. What can I use as an alternative for that word? D-head, I mutter with a smile. A-hole, are you guys ready for your exit row briefing? I send Logan a quick response thanking her for the picture of Ella in my jersey before I give Stevie my full attention. This is my newest tactic to get under her skin. She wanted my attention last time. Well, from now on, I'm going to hang on every word she has to say, and it's going to be awkward as F. This guy, he's a little brat. Yes, please. I took my phone away and crossed my hands in my lap, sitting forward in anticipation. Her words jerk at my eager response, her brows furrowed as she looks at me puzzled. Madison snickers next to me, knowing exactly what I'm doing. Okay. She drags out the word in confusion. Stevie continues to explain how the window exit exits work if we need to use it in case of emergency, though she's much quicker this time than last. I assume because she'll be repeating this to us every flight for the remainder of the season. I enthusiastically nod at every little thing she has to say, but whenever her blue-green eyes find mine, they narrow in annoyance. He's so petty, bro, and for no reason. Like, he's being a brat to be a brat. Are you willing and able to help in case of an emergency? She asks both Madison and me. Yes, Madison quickly answers. Me, not so much. Question, I begin. How exactly do I open the window again? Madison shakes his head, but his chest moves with a silent laugh. Stevie takes a deep breath, I'm sure in frustration, before she repeats what she's already told me. Remove the plastic placard, pull the red handle inward and release. The window will lock against the aircraft. I nod my head repeatedly. I see. And when do I open it? Stevie inhales sharply, and I can no longer contain the sly grin on my lips. This poop is fun, when instructed by a crew member to do so. And how, for F's sake, Sanders, are you willing and able to help in case of an emergency or not? Can she swear on the job like that? I don't think so, but for book purposes, I guess it's fine. I can't help but break into a laugh. I already feel 10 times better than I did when I left the arena. Thankfully, a smile pulls at Stevie's mouth even though she's trying to contain it. She presses her full lips together, trying to bite it back, but finally a laugh escapes her. Yeah, I'm willing and able, I resign with a big-ass smile on my face as I lean back in my chair. She shakes her head in amusement. I need a new job, she mutters before walking away. I think if Tara, the head flight attendant, saw that, she would not be happy at all. After the airplane doors are closed, Stevie comes back up to the exit row, standing a few mere inches from me in the aisle. Her blonde co-worker is up at the front while the third flight attendant speaks over the PA system. Stevie starts doing the safety demonstration, showing how to use your seatbelts and oxygen masks if they happen to fall from the ceiling. No one else is paying attention, but I keep my eyes laser focused on her. She can sense my stare and her cheeks are becoming flush under her freckles. This aircraft is equipped with 6 emergency exits, the flight attendant says over the PA system. 2 forward door exits, 2 window exits over the wings, and 2 door exits in the rear of the aircraft. You're doing great, sweetheart, I whisper. Stevie shakes her head, her lips pressed together. Flight attendants are now pointing out the exits closest to you. The speaker system echoes throughout the airplane. Stevie uses her index and middle fingers on each hand to point out the exits in the back of the plane, then does the same, motioning towards the window exits in the middle of the plane where I sit. But when she points to the window exit on my side, she tucks her index finger in and points to the window with only her middle finger, clearly flipping me off. I can't hold back my laughter. They're already flirting, guys. There's a smug, satisfied smile on Stevie's lips, as there should be. Her unwillingness to back down or give in to my charm, the way most women do, is officially intriguing with equal parts frustrating. Z is the first thing I hear as soon as I walk into the Madison's penthouse the next day, quickly followed by a sweet little 3-year-old throwing herself at my legs, wanting me to pick her up. Ella Jo, I lift, the crazy-haired girl holding her tight. How's my favourite girl? Only girl, she counters, pushing her little fingers into my cheeks. Damn right she is. Present? Ella, Logan calls from down the hall in the nursery. That's not how we ask for things from the uncle. I give little EJ a pointed glance as I try to hold back my amused smile, needing to have Logan's back on the whole parenting thing, but Ella could ask for absolutely anything from her other 2 uncles or me, and there's no way in hell any of us are saying no. She lets out a little huff to correct herself before her sweetest smile overtakes her lips, her dimples popping out like you wouldn't believe. She cocks her head, tilting it and bringing her shoulders to her rosy cheek. Present, please? She bats her lashes. A rumble of laughter shakes in my chest. I adjust her on my hip before digging my hand into my pocket. When Ella was 1, I started buying her a onesie-type thing from each city her dad and I played in. Not that she knew I remembered that, but it was a fun way to make sure I got to come over and see my baby niece after each road trip. They've all been handed down to her little brother, MJ, now. Last year, when she was 2, I switched to postcards. She liked all the bright, pretty pictures on the front, and she was easily entertained by a piece of paper. This year, she's 3, and we are upgrading to magnets. Pulling out the little magnet with the Colorado flag on it, I watch as Ella's deep green eyes shine with excitement. It's an effing magnet, but she looks like she was just given a winning lottery ticket. Wow, she exclaims, and I can't help but laugh again. She might not have asked for a gift in the most polite way, but the way she's treasuring this little rubber magnet in her tiny hands makes up for it. She flips it over, examining it with a massive smile on her lips. It's for the fridge, I explain. I'll get you one from every city we play in. She excitedly nods her head and squirms in my grasp, wanting to get down. I set her on her feet and she scurries to the refrigerator. She sits on her knees, putting the magnet to the bottom of the fridge, where only she can reach, before tucking her tiny fist under her chin, admiring it. What do you say, baby? Logan comes shuffling into the kitchen with newborn MJ in her arms. Thank you, Uncle Z, Ella practically yells from the floor in the kitchen. You're welcome, girlie. As Logan walks by, I pop a kiss on her cheek and she places her sleeping and swaddled son in my arms, not even asking if I want to hold him. She already knows the answer. Sometimes, most of the time, my reasoning for coming over has nothing to do with spending time with my 2 closest friends. I come over to see their kids. How are you feeling, Lo? I ask one of my best friends, who is less than 2 weeks postpartum. I feel good. She wears a bright smile as she takes a seat on the couch, tucking her legs underneath her. I take the opposite side of the couch, careful not to wake MJ in my arms. This baby sleeps like a rock though, so I doubt I could anyway. You look good. So you better watch it, I hear Madison amused voice from somewhere down the hall. So good. I call out to piss him off. If you weren't holding my son, I'd kick your bum. Walking into the living room, he picks up his daughter on the way over to the couch. But she does look good, Madison continues. Ella Jo, doesn't your mama look great? Look pretty. So pretty, Ella sighs before resting her head on her dad's shoulder, seeming sleepy. Madison walks around the back of the couch behind Logan. I think it's someone's nap time. I'll be right back, baby. He gives his wife a quick kiss. Before he carries Ella off to her room, he rounds the couch to me and bends down, puckering his lips. Be right back, baby. Frick off. Frick off, that's a good alternative to F off. I shove his face away from me with a laugh. My eyes flicker to the floor-to-ceiling windows behind Logan. Damn, sometimes I forget how much you guys can see into my apartment. Squinting my eyes, I can spot my marble kitchen island from here. Logan turns around, looking out the windows and across the street. Facing me again, she can't hold back her blushed smile as her dimples pop out. Trust me, we don't forget. Do you know how many times Ellie or I have caught you with someone in your kitchen? Why do you think we installed these drapes? She motions towards the extra long blackout curtains, currently pushed to the wall, letting the sun shine through. I'm surprised I haven't gouged my eyeballs out yet. You know how many women would kill to have your guys' view? Just appreciate the show. So gross, she giggles. I laugh right along with her before noting the shift in her expression. Ellie said your mum got a hold of your sister. I let out a heavy sigh, but I'm also kind of thankful for this topic change. Logan is sort of my makeshift therapist, regardless that I have a licensed one I see once or twice a week. I tell Logan almost everything, and I've needed to get this off my chest since the night in Denver. Yeah, Lindsay said she's been blowing her up non-stop trying to get in touch with me. I'm sorry, Z. Is there anything we can do? I don't know. Just hope she doesn't show up again or get my number, I guess. Logan stays silent for a moment before her eyes dart to me, then back to the ground. Have you told your dad? We've not really got a mention of his dad yet, right? I don't think. Have I told my dad? I haven't told my dad much of anything since I left his house for college. He isn't exactly the most caring or supportive man these days. I don't think he could give two poops about the fact I'm a professional athlete making millions of dollars a year, which vastly contradicts my mother's current intentions for wanting to worm her way into my life. He wasn't always this way though. In fact, when I was a kid, we couldn't have been closer. My dad was at every one of my travel hockey tournaments. We could talk sports all day. He'd help me work on my technique in the backyard, and he was always on my bum about my grades, knowing I needed to keep them up in order to qualify for a scholarship. My dad is an overall good person, but he buried himself in work as soon as my mum left us. Maybe he was trying to be the man she wanted, or at least make the kind of money she wanted, hoping she'd come back to him. I'm not sure, but he abandoned me like my mother did, just in a different way. He no longer cared about my grades or came to watch me play high school hockey. Instead, he would stay late at work, distracting himself from his broken heart. By the time he would come home, I was usually in bed after microwaving something to eat for dinner. Lindsay was already off at college at the time, and I had never felt so alone. That's when the panic attack started. That's when the anger started. That's when the constant reminder that no one loved me started. That's when I realised no one had ever loved me enough to stick around. Stevie will be that for you. I'm sure. It wasn't until years later, when I was in my third year of college, that I started going to therapy and working on my shit. I realised it was no one else's responsibility to love me. So I started loving myself. No one else was going to. They keep on re-saying that again. So I started loving myself. No one else was going to. But he clearly does have people now around him. He has the Madisons and their children. All the guys on the team. So he needs to get out of that mindset to then be able to let somebody else love him. Z, Logan softly says, Pulling myself out of the days of my past, I softly stroke MJ's swaddle with my thumb as he sleeps soundly in my arms. Have you told your dad that your mum has been trying to reach you? I shake my head, shooting her a half smile. I don't want to bother him with it, which is code for I don't want to talk to him more than necessary. But I don't say that. Logan is big on me and my dad repairing our relationship. She lost her own parents at a young age and would kill to have another conversation with her dad. I feel like a complete prick anytime I tell her I have no desire to speak to mine who is alive and healthy. Okay, she ends the conversation with that, giving me a sad smile. I look down at the sweet boy in my arms, thankful to have this family as my own, blood ties or not. Hey Z, Logan says from across the couch, we love you a whole lot. Somehow this girl always knows what I need to hear, the same way a husband can read me like a book. Sometimes I'm not great at admitting what I need, regardless of how blunt and honest I can be, but I'm thankful to have these people know me so well. I love you guys too, which are the only people I've said those words to besides my sister in the last decade of my life. Oh, that's really sweet. So this is already showing that he is more of a complex character and person than just like a douchey sports guy. And like I said before, like he clearly does have a lot of love in his life, but I think the lack of love from his parents, while he's like gone to therapy and is working on dealing with it, it doesn't make that truth any easier. So I don't know. I feel like we're going to have introductions and conversations between like the mother and the father. I think they're going to definitely be in this beefy book. I'd be shocked if they weren't. But I don't know if it's going to be more just like getting closure with them, or whether he'll actually be able to repair anything. with his parents. Guess they both seem a little bit poopy. I don't know. Anyway, chapter 6. Stevie. Evan Sanders is a D-bag, but I think I'm starting to figure him out. It's only taken 3 short road trips, but here we are. He's going to do everything in his power to get under my skin, but as long as I give him poop right back, I think I'll be okay. Once the aircraft doors are closed, blocking out the Detroit chill, I do my usual safety demonstration, standing in the exit row, tonight like most nights, in a red-eye flight, and the players are too distracted to watch or care about what I'm doing with a faux oxygen mask or seatbelt. All but one. I'll give you one guess. That's right, Evan Sanders' hazel eyes burn into me, watching my every move as I do my job, just as they have for weeks now. As I pack up the little safety demo bag, my favourite part of the flight begins. Only today it's not my favourite part, because today I'm stuck in the exit row as every player stands and begins to undress. What are you saying least favourite? Girl, that should be your favourite. A quick panic races through me as I attempt to find a way to escape. Needed to get to the safety of the galley in the back on the plane, but it's no use. Oh my god, I'd be so awkward and uncomfortable, and I'd just be like shaking. I would not be able to keep my cool in this situation. Everywhere I turn, someone is undressing. I'm trapped by the most perfectly formed and almost entirely naked bodies, and the most notable, the one standing directly in front of me, giving me no room to move. Evan Sanders. He knows what he's doing too. Sanders overtakes the space in the aisle next to his seat. I tried to turn around and make a dash to the front of the plane, but apparently the coaching staff is getting out of their suits tonight too. Understandably so, we are flying an overnight flight back to Chicago, but I'm left with no escape plan whatsoever. My wired and fear-stricken eyes find Indy's in the front galley, where she was doing the safety demonstration. Instead of a look of sympathy, she shoots me a wink and 2 thumbs up before hiding away behind a partition, leaving me to the wolves. I love this girl. The naked wolves. Turning back, my eyes immediately locked with Sanders. How could they not? First of all, they're gorgeous, all hazily and poop. Secondly, he's literally a foot away from me. He could move back if he'd like. He has the space to do it, whereas I don't. But no, he's 12 inches away from me as he seductively peels off his tailored suit jacket. Again, I don't know if he's trying to be seductive or not, if he just naturally looks like he's about to star in an adult film, but I have a feeling it's the latter. You good, Stevie? Sanders asked with a glint of mischief in his eyes. Yep, my voice breaks. I clear my throat. Yep, good, great. Turning my head away, I rub my neck as Xander's long fingers, decorated with gold rings, take their sweet time unbuttoning his collared shirt. I can feel his stare on me as I keep my eyes locked on the window seat exit, partly to keep my eyes off him and partially to plan out my escape. The plan isn't taxiing that fast on the plane isn't taxiing that fast on the runway yet. I'm sure the road rash I'd endure from the jump out the window onto the asphalt would burn a whole lot less than Xander's gates. In my peripheral, a body full of flawless brown skin comes into view, and for some damn reason I can't help but look. Me too. Xander's entire upper half is bare, his shoulders are wide and broad, but his body narrows at the waist. Like a little Dorito. He's cut like a freaking superhero, even his muscles have muscles. I watch as the light catches on the thin gold chain around his neck before my eyes meet his. He couldn't be more amused. Like what you see, he smirks. Yes, he has the audacity to effing smirk. My damn voice comes out 10 octaves too high. I clear my throat again as Xander's chest heaves in a laugh. Can I get past you? I need to get to the back of the plane and away from you before I have the heat stroke from staring at your annoying gorgeous body. I'm almost done, he tells me, not breaking eye contact as he swiftly undoes his belt. I swallow audibly. Been without water in the desert for too many days. Who knew my job would come with a personal striptease? His long fingers unfasten the zipper of his pants, allowing them to drop and pull at his ankles. His 2 tight black boxer briefs are the first thing I see. Right before my eyes wide are drawn to the giant in the front. I'm not kidding. It's and he's not even. He's not even. It's no wonder girls are throwing themselves at him. This thing should have its own area code. You enjoying yourself? I mumble, entirely entranced by the literal anaconda in his pants. You like what you see, Stevie? Yes. What? No, absolutely not. I quickly turned to face the side of the airplane, staring at the emergency exit window, which is looking more and more appealing by the second. Xander's evil laugh echoes through my ears, and I can't seem to keep my eyes from finding his body once again. I start at his ankles, noting the black swirling ink that takes up his entire left side. It wraps around his leg, traces his ribs, and covers his arm. The black ink doesn't contrast too much against his rich skin tone. Instead, it complements it. It looks right on him. I don't know how else to explain it. You explained it perfectly. Want to try the answer again? Sanders asks, making no real effort to put his sweatpants and t-shirts on. His naked body takes up the entire aisle, and his hands rest on the headrests on either side, caging me in. You like what you see? I plaster on my most smug expression, having no plans to inflate this man's ego more than it already has been. There's only so much oxygen on an airplane. I don't want his ego to suffocate the rest of us. You know, safety and all that poop. I say with indifference, crossing my arms over my chest, my stare unyielding as it locks with his. Sure thing, sweetheart. Xander slips his white tee on over his head, his observation only breaking with mine for a second when the fabric covers his face. Then he steps into a pair of grey pants as I try my very best to keep my focus away from the in his and grey sweatpants. Come on, man. You got a little. He wipes the corner of his mouth, trying to tell me I'm drooling from looking at him. I'm 90% sure I'm not, but I also wouldn't be surprised if I am. However, I refuse to check. He's stupid pretty. His hazel eyes challenge me, holding my attention, daring me to swipe at my lip and check for possible drool. I hate you, I remind him, attempting to hold my ground, which makes him fall forward in arrogant laughter, holding his chest. When Xander stands up straight again, I move to slip past him, needing to get out of this effing aisle, but he stops me by holding onto the seat across the way, his arm blocking me in. I'll take a sparkling water. His deep breath sends a shiver up my spine. He's making me tongue-tied. Swallowing, I turn my head towards him, playing with fire. His face is only inches from mine, and it's fine as hell. I can practically feel the warmth of his lips from here, or maybe that's the temperature from his burning gaze. There's a cooler in the back for you to get it yourself. I push his arm out of the way to move past him, maybe a little harder than necessary, but he's making me flustered and I don't like it. I don't like when my confident mask is taken off. Extra lime, Steve, sweetheart, he calls out with a satisfied laugh as I roll my eyes, but I can also feel the blush heating my cheeks. I got him the damn sparkling water. I've also gotten him a refill, a pillow and a bag of chips, all of which he could have easily grabbed himself. We leave them accessible for a reason. My only hope is that the flight attendant call light above his head burns out and stops working. With the rate he's pressing it, I wouldn't be surprised. Once again, the blue light shines in the back galley, indicating that a passenger needs our assistance. An audible grunt leaves my lips. I've just made myself a grilled cheese. It's perfectly melted, and I'm only a few bites in. Indy laughs. Looks like your boyfriend needs you again. She motions towards the exit row, where the light above Xander's stupid, flawless face is lit up. I'd go check on what he needs, but we both know he's going to ask for you once I get there. I roll my eyes, stretch my neck, and try to plaster on my best bullshizer flight attendant smile as I step out of the galley. But as I do, Tara hurries her way to Xander's, which is fine by me. This girl is jealous that he wants her all the time. He doesn't want you, Tara girl. If someone else wants to take care of the diva himself, I'll gladly pass on the responsibility. Tara's got it, I inform Indy as I step back into the galley, our safe haven. $20 she comes back here and tells you that Xanders wants to see you. I don't make enough money to be throwing it away on losing bets. This is the third trip of the season and not a single flight has gone by where he's spoken to another one of the girls. Tara clears her throat as she stands in the space between the galley and the aisle. Ever Xanders needs something from you. Do you know what he wants? I ask with caution, regardless of the fact I'm not actually fraternising with the guy. His obvious task at making my job a living hell this season might be gaining too much attention around Tara, and I need to be careful. Well, Xanders needs to be careful. Nope, he said he needs something that only you can get. Tara's lips are pressed in a hard line as she turns away, walking back to the front of the airplane where her workstation is. I can't quite tell if she's frustrated that I'm getting attention or if she's upset that it's not her, which sounds ridiculous as I say it. Anyone who would want the attention Xanders is giving me, making my job way harder than it needs to be, is out of their mind. Go take care of your boo, indie teasers. Shut up. The entire team is busy scarfing down their dinners as I walk through the aisle, so thankfully no one is paying attention to me as I make my way to the exit row. Need something? I ask Sanders in my sweetest tone, which isn't all that sweet. Sweet isn't really a word I'd use to describe myself. I don't like my dinner. He looks down at his plate where he's perfectly cooked filet mignon. I don't even know what that is, but that's how you say it, right? Filet mignon. Let me know what that is. Remains mostly untouched. Okay, can I get you something else? Can you make me a grilled cheese? Really? You eat that kind of stuff? Oh, sweetheart, you're watching out for my diet. Actually, no, I don't really give a poop. I state with honesty as Madison almost chokes in startled laughter next to him. Can she really talk to him like that, though? Like, even from the first day, she's not really been a profesh, you know? It's just swearing at him. Just curious, but you could have asked the other flight attendants to make you one when she came over here, you know. He glances towards the front of the airplane where Tyra's perfectly thin frame is standing, watching us. Yeah, but something tells me when it comes to food, I trust your opinion more than hers. Oh God, what a stupid thing to say. Oh God. Oh my God. What the hell does that mean? Is that his way of judging my body? Is that his way of saying he knows I eat this kind of junk on a regular basis and could probably make a good one? I mean, he's not wrong, but still. Like I like if I was in her position and he said that to me, I'd think the exact same thing. I'd be like, what are you saying about me, about my body? Because all women think like that. I harshly swallow, suddenly feeling claustrophobic on this airplane. The space is too small. Also, I know that he doesn't mean it in that way, but it's just dumb, and guys do dumb stuff like that all the time. Anyway. The space is too small. I'm exposed in the exit row for everyone to see. I don't want anyone to look at me in my embarrassment. My uniform hugs my body and I feel it digging in at my hips, my chest, and under my arms. Everyone can tell that it doesn't fit me correctly. I know it. The first thing they see is a body that carries a few more pounds than I'd like it to, and I was an idiot to think maybe these guys wouldn't judge me for it. I was wrong and my mask is completely off at this point. I hate feeling this vulnerable. Stevie, Sanders says with amusement in his voice. You're going to do your job and make me a grilled cheese or what? Snapping out of my trance for a moment, I nod my head in silence before taking off towards the galley, needing to hide. Stevie, Sanders questions as I hurry down the aisle, but I don't turn around. I make his sandwich, but I don't bring it out. In fact, I don't go out into the aisle again until we land in Chicago and everyone else is off the airplane. That's so sad. Chapter 7. Stevie. The Chicago Raptors have a homestand, which means I have some time off work this week, and even better, the Chicago Devils have the night off, so I finally get to spend some time with my brother. Though I've yet to see him today, he had a shoot around this morning, then a press conference this afternoon, but we're going to the movies tonight. A little twin bonding moment, if you will. Every chapter I have to do a little burpy burp. Oh my God. I've stayed curled up on the couch in this amazing apartment, waiting for him to get back from the arena. I'm not kidding, this apartment building is insane. Potentially, does Anders live in this apartment building? I might be reaching, I don't know. It was built about 4 years ago, and Ryan moved in a year after that when Chicago picked him up. He's not on the penthouse floor, because Anders is, I'm assuming. But he's a couple of levels below it and the view is epic from his almost 180-degree porch. We can see most of Chicago from here, including Lake Michigan. But the view isn't all that pretty today, simply because it's been pouring rain all afternoon. I typically be at the shelter on my days off, but the dogs aren't getting their afternoon walks because of the weather, so they didn't really need my help. Instead, I've stayed curled up on the couch, wearing my comfiest and ugliest sweatpants. The 3 quick road trips were a good way to get my feet wet for this season because our next trip is much longer and it starts in Nashville next week. Most everyone loves to stop in Nashville, I'm sure. However, all it does is make me feel anxious. I grew up right outside the city and I was thankful to get out and go to the University of North Carolina when I did. There's just something about being in Nashville that makes me feel like I'm not good enough. I'm not blonde enough, I'm not tall and skinny enough, but I'm not short and petite enough either. At least that's how I felt growing up, and going back there has been hanging over my head ever since I took a job with the hockey team. It's a stop on the NHL schedule, whereas I could avoid a hometown visit when I worked with the NBA. Ryan is lucky, he doesn't have to go back there multiple times a year for his games, though he would be welcomed back with the parade, I'm sure. He was a local high school celebrity and I was his twin sister that girls were nice to in order to try to get close to the star basketball player. Regardless, I still have a couple of friends from high school, and though we aren't super close, we are close enough that I should probably tell them I'm in town next week. Hey V, Ryan calls out as he walks through the front door. Popping off the couch, I look at him with wide, eager eyes. Did you get me one? No hello, no my dearest brother and my favourite person in the entire world, how are you? I scrunch my nose in disgust. Gross, no. Yes, I got you one. He tosses a tinfoil wrapped hot dog in my lap. But you know I can afford to feed you a little better than a $5 street meat hot dog for dinner, right? Don't judge me, the United Centre's street meat is the best. I eagerly unwrap my dog, finding it piled high with grilled onions and peppers, doused in mustard, just the way I like it. What time do you want to head out? Head out where? My head snaps back to him in the kitchen. To the movies. We're still trying to get to the 7 o'clock showing, right? Oh, fudge, yeah. I completely forgot that we made plans tonight. Guilt overtakes his face. I have a date. Oh, which is pure surprise, because, well, my brother doesn't really date. I can cancel. You have a date? Yeah, but I'm going to cancel. No, don't do that. My brother hasn't dated since he's been in Chicago. He's too focused on basketball and his career to add women into the equation. In fact, he practically refuses to date, so even though he's probably hoping I'll help him get out of it, there's no way I'm going to enable his singleness. He's the absolute best person I know and he deserves to be happy, even though he thinks the only answer to that is basketball. Unfortunately, his first date in 3 years aligns with the only plans we've been able to make in weeks. Now that it's basketball and hockey season, we won't be seeing each other much. Can I make it up to you? We can go as soon as I'm back from this series of road games he eagerly offers. I'm leaving for Nashville the day before you're home, but don't worry about it. We'll hang out eventually. Ryan comes behind the couch and wraps his arms around my shoulders. Please tell me not to go. You're going. Who is she anyway? Our team's GM's niece. Ryan takes a seat on the edge of the couch. She's going to some big movie premiere and our general manager called in a favour. So you are going to the movies? A subtle laugh heaves in Ryan's chest. Apparently she needs some kind of PR overhaul, and who better to show it with than straight-laced boring Ryan Shea. You're not boring, Ryan. I'm pretty effing boring, V. Well, maybe you'll actually like her. Not my type. This is strictly a business transaction. Then maybe this is going to be his love interest. I'm sure he's going to end up having a book. But I thought maybe it would be indie, but then maybe not. I don't know. It seems like they're setting up something because he's like, oh, she's not my type. That's what they always say, and then they end up boom in love. But I don't know. How do you have a type if you don't date? Uncle's money. That shouldn't be anyone's type. Ryan quickly shakes his head in disapproval. Speaking of dates, there's this big charity gala coming up that I need a date for. Perfect. Ask your brother stealing famous movie star girlfriend. You'll go with me, right? Sure, if I'm not on the road for hockey. You're not. It's one of your players' charities. Active Minds of Chicago. Take my card and buy a dress for it. It's black tie. I tilt my head around to look at him, my eyes narrowing. I have my own money, and besides, I'd rather find something second-hand. Ryan pulls his head back. No way, V. You know I think your thrifter style is great, but you cannot wear a dress from a thrift store to this thing. Why not? Because that room is going to be filled with the highest paid athletes in Chicago. You'll stick out like a sore thumb. That statement quickly solves our debate. There's the exact kind of attention I don't want. Fine, you can buy me an expensive dress to wear around your rich-ass colleagues. A satisfied smile across his lips. Take the black Amex when you go. He gives my shoulder a quick squeeze before swiftly snatching the hot dog from my hands and taking a giant bite. What the hell? F, that's good. I'll have to get myself one of those next time. He wipes the mustard from the side of his mouth. So Nashville, huh? You're going to tell Tweedledee and Tweedledum you're coming back to town? If you mean Hannah and Jackie, then I'm not sure yet. Haven't decided. Ryan rummages through the kitchen pantry looking for something to snack on. Don't. Those girls are evil. They're my friends. They're not your friends, V. They're mean girls. Oh no. I let out an exhausted breath. My brother is right, but they were my closest friends in high school, no matter how much I felt left out from our trio. Speaking of mean girls, have you talked to Mum? Ryan shoots me a death glare over his shoulder. Mum is not a mean girl. Not to you. You're her favourite child after all. No, I haven't talked to her, but you better tell her you're coming back to town. She's going to want to see you. No, she's not. Yeah, of course I'll tell her. I avoid my brother's stare before he figures out the truth that I haven't planned on letting my mum know I'll be back home. I would love to see my dad, but my mum, not so much. Speaking of the gala, Ryan takes a seat on the armrest of the couch, eyeing me cautiously. Brett hit me up today. Why? I quickly snap. My brother inhales a deep breath. I'm guessing this is the ex-boyfriend. he wants to come to that event, visit here at Chicago. Ryan pulls his gaze away from mine. I told him it wasn't a good idea. He didn't know you were living here, but he's really struggling right now trying to find a job in sports. Every big team in the city will be at that charity gala. It's a good place for him to network. There's a shortness of oxygen going to my lungs and subsequently my brain from hearing Brett's name. The last person I want to think about is my brother's college teammate, my ex. Dun, dun, dun. We dated most of college, but there were multiple periods of time when he would end things with me because he had other options. Then he'd come crawling back when he was bored, only to keep me on an endless roller coaster of trying to be good enough to keep his attention. And I was an idiot who took him back every single time. He was my weakness. I loved him, and all I wanted was for him to want me back, but he didn't. Not really. And I wouldn't be happy if my brother was like, oh, I need to help him out. Bro, he was not good to me. He deserves nothing. I was there to fill a void, to be a warm body in his bed while he continued to look for better options. I didn't realise it at the time, but my confidence in myself took a huge plummet from constantly feeling like I wasn't enough for him. And of course, it was the same time my mother started to make comments about the way I looked. Then in our senior year, when Brett found out he was offered a spot at training camp with a pro basketball team, he dropped me quicker than you can say, I've been using you for 3 years, which is essentially what he said without saying those exact words. I remember it all, clear as day. I was waiting for Ryan outside of his locker room at UNC, but little did I know my brother was in the middle of an interview out of the court while the rest of the teammates were shooting the hoop behind a thin door that was anything but soundproof. What about Stevie? One of the boys had asked when they learned about my boyfriend's new opportunity. Brett's response, what about Stevie? She was there because I was bored, but I'm going pro. Do you know the quality of women that are about to throw themselves at me? You think I'm going to stay with Shay's sister when I have better options? And that was that. That was the final straw on my end, as it should be, Queen. He's reached out a couple of times over the years, especially after he got dropped during training camp of his rookie season, never once making it into a professional NBA team. But that day outside the locker room was the day it clicked. It was never anything to him, and I've been carrying that weight of knowing I wasn't good enough ever since. No, you are good enough, Stevie. Ryan has no idea how bad it was. Brett is his college teammate and was once one of his closest friends. The heartbreak my brother saw me and Joe had me keeping his distance from his old friend without even knowing the full details. Not to be dramatic, but he effed me up. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I will never date an athlete again. They're shallow, only caring about the trophy on their arm, and I'm no one's trophy. I told him it wasn't a good idea, Ryan adds, pulling me out of the past and back to the present. But I feel like maybe I should help him out, get him a contact with some media networks. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy. Ryan wouldn't feel bad if he had any idea what his old teammates said about me. In fact, he'd probably kick their ass. I'll tell him not to come. No, I shake my head. He's your college roommate, right? It's cool. But could you find him somewhere else to stay? He shoots me a thankful and understanding smile. You going to ever tell me what happened between you guys? We broke up, simple as that. I would like for you to tell me one day. He walks behind the couch, shaking my curls before taking off to his room to get ready. Love you, V. I don't think you would be this nice and welcoming to him if you knew, hun. The distaste for Ryan's college teammate lingers in my mouth as I finish the rest of my hot dog before falling back on the couch and hiding under my giant weighted blanket for the night. I spend my evening in my coziest sweats. Albeit there are also my ratchiest, but who am I trying to impress? I'm alone in this giant apartment in the heart of the city where I still don't know too many people yet. I consider texting Indy to see what she's up to, thinking maybe it will be a good chance to get to know her better, seeing as we are about to spend the majority of the next 6 to 8 months on the road together. But the weight of this blanket and the fact that I really don't want to get off this couch keeps me from doing so. Thankfully the rain has stopped, so when I get the mental strength to pull myself off this sofa, I'll head out and spend the rest of my night loving on my favourite guys and gals. Of course, I'm talking about the dogs at SDOC, Senior Dogs of Chicago. It's a rescue a short walk from here where older dogs wait to get adopted to a loving home where they can live out the rest of their days. Prediction, Sanders is going to get a dog from there. I started volunteering there the day after I moved to Chicago. I did something similar back in North Carolina when I was in college, and it's become sort of a passion project of mine. If I could live off taking care of these animals and giving them the love that no one else will, I would. But unfortunately, it's a non-profit barely surviving off slim to no donations. Not for long, sis. Not when that guy falls for you. So those of us who volunteer do so because we love the animals and I relate to them. Not necessarily the senior thing, I mean, I am only 26, but the idea of not being someone's first choice. I get that. That's sad. These dogs are passed over for puppies left to live the rest of their short lives in a shelter. I'm not going to be dramatic and say I get passed up at every man I meet, because that's not the case. But after that conversation about Brett, I remember all too well how it feels to be the backup choice. So for the sweet senior dogs who just want a warm home and someone to love, I make them my first choice. And if my twin brother wasn't allergic to dogs, boo, I'd have an apartment full of them. But somebody will. Surfing the channels to find something decent to watch, I stumble upon the Raptors game. There are only 2 minutes left in the final period and Chicago is up 4-2 on their opponent. Seems like an easy win for them. Their stadium is packed to the brim, the way it is when I get to watch Ryan play in person. I don't know much about hockey, but I suppose I should learn now that it's my job. So I watch the final 2 minutes, and in those last minutes, all I learn is that there is a thing called icing, like cake, but I have no idea what it means, though they call it twice. They do some sort of announcements of the best players for the game, and lo and behold, Evan Sanders gets the first star, which apparently is a good thing. "How are you feeling tonight, Sanders?" one of the announcers asks. He lifts his jersey to wipe the sweat off his brow before his hazel eyes lock with the camera, shooting his signature megawatt smile. It's all attractive and smoke and shizer. "I feel good. Good win for the boys tonight. Congratulations on being named the first star of the game. Are we celebrating with someone special tonight?" These reporters are too invasive. I don't like it. I've watched plenty of professional games and I've never heard a question like this though. From the bit I've learned about Xander's reputation, most of the media seems to only care about who he's being a D-hole to or who he's putting his D-hole in. His lips slide up into a smirk, looking right back to the camera. "A couple of special someones." Gross. I lift the remote and shut off the TV. Grabbing my laptop, I delve into the FBI level stalking that Indy already did. If I'm going to be stuck on an airplane with these guys, I may as well figure out who the hell they are. Rio is the first name to pop up. There's not much information about the green-eyed defenseman, but he's clearly the team clown. There aren't many pictures of him where he's not wearing his goofy smile or carrying his old-school boombox. I don't find much about the other guys on the team except where they went to college, their home countries, and a few images that pop up from my Google search with them and their girlfriends or friends. The team captain is a different story. When I click on Eli Madison's name, an endless list of websites comes up. His old university, the teams he's played for previously, and most notably, the charity he's the founder of. The name sounds familiar, Active Minds of Chicago. All of the pieces connect. I realise that the gala I'm going to with Ryan is a charity event for Madison's organisation to support kids and teens suffering with mental illness. There are also plenty of pictures online of him and his family. His wife looks vaguely familiar, but I can't quite place her, though her red hair stands out to me, and I'm almost positive I've seen this woman before. Okay. There's also an endless supply of pictures of Madison with his daughter, including a clip of her bombarding a press conference last year that took over the internet. It's clear that Madison is the family guy of the team. Contrary to that is Evan Sanders. There's about as much information on Sanders as on Madison. However, there's no family represented on Sanders' Google search, but there are countless images of him leaving the arena with a different girl on his arm, no two picture having the same woman, and below those photos are numerous headlines including Chicago's Raptors, Evan Sanders out of the club until 4 a.m. Number 11 ejected from game for fighting, facing fines. Evan Sanders, Chicago's residence bad boy. Jesus, cliche much? Unintentionally, I roll my eyes, finding exactly what I knew I would before I close my laptop and toss it back on the couch. Standing, I whip my curls out into a quick bun, throwing on an oversized sweatshirt and slip into my Air Force Ones. Before I hit the door, I grab a bag of dog treats from the console table and take a quick glance in the mirror. I look a hot mess. My sweatpants are stained, the fabric so thin from being overly worn, and my hair needs to be washed. I don't have a touch of makeup on, and there's a good chance there's dried mustard on my chin from my hot dog earlier, but these pups don't care, and neither do I. Grabbing my phone, purse and keys, I leave the apartment and slip into the elevator. I'm excited to see all my furry friends who I haven't seen for days at this point, and that's the thing with some of these older dogs. You don't know how much time you'll get with them. You just have typo. I think I found a typo, guys. You just have to give them as much love as you can because you don't know how much longer they have on earth. I ride the elevator alone down to the lobby floor as the low hum of violin strings pours out from the speakers and fills the metal box. As I said, my brother's apartment is bougie as hell, and only the extremely wealthy live here. I'm sure the kind doorman has a mini heart attack anytime he sees me enter or exit wearing my baggy flannels, oversized t-shirts and dirty sneakers, though he's always polite and never says a word. The elevator stops on the main floor, and as soon as the doors open, I step out, walking smack dab into something solid. Jesus, someone says, holding me steady with a heavy arm. You good? My head feels a little wobbly from vibrating off a chest of pure muscle, but I can see perfectly clear. My eyes trail the stranger's body, noting the contrast between my dirty sneakers and his shiny dress shoes. His legs are thick, but his suit pants are perfectly tailored to fit his strong thighs. His crisp white shirt is practically see-through, showcasing his tattered skin, and when my gaze falls on the thin gold chain around his neck, I realise who I ran into. My body thanks to the warmth flowing through me from the unexpected contact knows too. I lift my eyes slightly higher, hazel irises staring back at me as the most mischievous grin slides up his lips. Stevie Xander says, "You following me?" Maybe I am. Are they going to go to the dog rescue thing together and then he's going to adopt a dog? Called it. Chapter 8. I really want to get to chapter 10 and then call it a day for today. Stevie, I begin, you following me? Her eyes trail down my body, checking me out as I do the same to her. Her chestnut curls are plopped on top of her head and her clothes are drowning her figure. Dark lashes frame her blue-green eyes and her face doesn't show a stitch of makeup, minus... Is that mustard on her chin? She's only inches from me, right where she barreled into my chest and hold, keeping her steady. Without thinking, I use the pad of my thumb to softly wipe the yellow from her face. As I do, her mouth falls open and her eyes dart to mine, holding my stare for a moment. Stevie clears her throat and takes a step back, away from me. Seems like you're following me, she retorts, keeping her eyes anywhere but on me as she crosses her arms over her chest. How am I following you? I mirror her stubborn actions, crossing my arms in the same manner. My best friends live here. Finally her eyes dart to mine, cocking her head in confusion. Eli Madison, I explain. His family lives in this building, penthouse floor, but their elevator is being worked on. I motion across the lobby to the private elevator for the Madison's level, the only one I use to avoid run-ins like this. Realisation covers Stevie's face. His eyes has dark red hair. His wife has dark red hair. Logan's signature colour. Logan, yeah? Stevie nods as if all the puzzle pieces are being put together for her, so that's where she recognises her from, because she's seen her in the building. So clearly you're following me. She scoffs. I live here. If anyone is being a stalker, it certainly isn't me. Sure thing, sweetheart. I brush her off, not believing her. Not to sound like a rich a-hole, but you're going to sound like one. This building, as well as mine across the street, costs an arm and a leg to own. She's a flight attendant. I highly doubt she makes enough to live here. Why the hell do you keep calling me sweetheart? An evil laugh slips from his lips. I thought she was smarter than that. You don't get it. Get what? My nickname for you, it's ironic. I'm not sure you have a sweet bone in your body, sweetheart. She holds my eye for a moment, contemplating her response. And if it was anyone else, I'd expect to be cussed out or maybe even smacked. But not with Stevie. She's kind of a wild card in that way. She can take the shiz talking just as well as she can dish it out. Instead of a negative reaction, uncontrollable giggles fall from her lips, her chest heaving. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. I can't help the smile that overtakes my face from seeing this wild girl, dressed like she might not have a place to call home, unable to contain her hysterical laughter in the middle of this all-white pristine lobby, marble floor and all. She looks entirely out of place and I kind of effing love it. You're such a a-hole, she laughs. I know, I smile right back at her. I let her catch her breath before asking again. Okay, really though, what are you doing here? She inhales deeply, a smile still covering her lips. I already told you I live here. Well, my brother lives here and I'm staying with him. Your brother? Who's your brother? Sorry. I'd have to know him. This city is big, but not that big. Anyone who can afford to live in this complex is some kind of high roller or athlete, bringing in millions of dollars a year. No one you'd know. Stevie brushes me off. I got to go. Have a good night. She sneaks past me, swiftly darting out the lobby doors. I watch her leave before quickly glancing back at the elevator in contemplation. I'm meeting up with Madison and Logan tonight, planning to have a late-night celebratory drink on their porch now that the rain has stopped. But instead, I found myself turning on my heel and jogging out the lobby doors to chase after a flight attendant who seems hell-bent on getting away from me. I knew it. Wait, I call out, busting through the front doors. She stops in her tracks and turns my way, looking dishevelled as F, and I have no idea why I'm chasing after this girl right now. Where are you going? It's after midnight. Why do I give a F is the better question. Stevie looks down the street in the direction she's headed. Just running an errand. Where? Again, why the hell do I care? Chicago is not a safe city to be wandering around by yourself at night. Only a block over, I'm fine. Stevie turns away from me, hastily continuing on our way. Rolling my eyes at her in frustration, I drag to catch up and gently grab her elbow, turning her back to face me. Stevie, wait. As she turns around, my fingers slide down, skimming her light brown skin and softly holding onto her forearm. She looks down at my hand before glancing up at me. Yes? Yeah, Evan, what? What the F are you planning to say? Why do you keep chasing this chick who clearly wants to get away from you? I retrieve my hand from her arm, trying to form a sentence. Since I've known this girl, I've had a blast getting under her skin and flustering the hell out of her. However, tonight I'm the one who's lost their charm and can't speak in proper sentences. Thankfully, she speaks before I have to. You smell like... Straighten up a bit. Satisfied smile tugging at my lips. Thank you. That wasn't a compliment. Sounded like one. She rolls her eyes. Can't really fault you. You did say you were going to celebrate with a couple of special someones tonight. My brows shoot up at the statement. You watched my game. I watched the last 2 minutes of your game. I looked hard as fudge in my jersey, yeah? You're in love with yourself. Someone's got to be... Oh, but really we know why he says that. Someone's got to be because he thinks that nobody loves him. Which is always my response to that statement. I know, hon. A couple walked past us on the street, all the while staring at me and whispering. It's fairly early in the season and I haven't done anything too scandalous in a bit that the paparazzi aren't following my every move at the moment. Still, it's hard to go many places in the city without getting recognised. Not that I mind the attention, I like the fanfare for the most part. But no, there were no someones, I explained, though Stevie never asked for an explanation. The special someones I was referring to celebrating with tonight is Madison's family. His wife is one of my best friends too, and if I time it right, I might be able to catch their newborn son waking up to get fed. I motion up the building, referencing their penthouse. Oh, she awkwardly laughs. It came off completely sexual on camera. The media is going to spin it that way anyway, I shrug. May as well play it up. Yeah, the media does seem to have a certain view on you. At least that's what it seems like online. Her eyes immediately go wide as if she said something she shouldn't have. Stevie, sweetheart, did you Google me? I asked with far too much amusement in my tone. She relaxes her shoulders, her casual and confident demeanour coming back real quick. I googled everyone on the team. Don't get your panties in a twist, thinking I was just looking at you. And what did you find when you googled me and only me? Nothing I didn't already know. Oh. I love my reputation, everything about it. No, you don't. The people who matter to me know my media persona is just that, a persona. But I like everyone else thinking I'm some unlovable piece of poop. It works well for me. Women throw themselves at me because of it. But for some reason, with this flight attendant with an attitude, I don't think I like that. Clearly my reputation doesn't do it for her, but if she liked me even a little bit, it would make it a lot more fun to mess with her on the airplane, which is still my mission for this season. But she kind of can't stand me, it seems, and everything I do on board just makes her like me even less. I think I want her to like me though, like on a human level. Don't believe everything you see in the media. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors to push the narrative my PR team wants them to push. So you're saying you don't leave the arena every night with a new girl, and you actually give a poop about someone other than yourself. My brows shoot up at her directness. Is there something wrong with leaving the arena with a new girl each night? Not at all, Stevie quickly states, which throws me off. I figured she would say yes. Most women don't wholly support the whole man whore thing. But you said it's not as it seems. It seems like that's pretty accurate to the picture they've painted of you. Well, I rubbed the back of my neck, suddenly feeling put on the spot. I don't often feel the need to explain myself or my actions, but for some reason I want to. Believe it or not, there are times when I walk those women out of the arena hoping the media takes pictures, and I put them in a cab and send them home. Stevie's brows shoot up, taken aback. But then, yeah, there are times they come home with me. My image makes me a poop load of money, doesn't hurt to play into it, and the benefits aren't half bad either. An understanding laugh heaves in Stevie's chest. Damn, she really is pretty, and her lack of judgment is attractive, regardless of her sometimes poopy attitude or the stained and tattered sweatpants she's wearing that have seen better days. Stevie eyes me for a moment, a memory flashing in her eyes before a smile falls. I got to get going. She quickly turns away from me. Whoa, 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 I once again jogged to stop her. These shoes are Louis Vuittons. No one should be running in Louis Vuittons. What just happened? Stevie pauses for a moment and my attention falls to her thumb as she nervously spins the ring that lives there. The other night, she begins. What did you mean when you said, when it comes to food, you trust my opinion more than the other girls? I furrow my brows in confusion. When you wanted me to make you something other than your dinner you didn't like. Dinner you didn't like. You said you trusted my opinion over my co-workers when it came to food. Oh, that. I forgot she got all weird after I said that. Yeah, what about it? What did you mean by that? Clearly I'm lost here. I meant what I said, that I trust your opinion about food more than the other girls. But what did that mean? She presses. I take a deep breath, trying to figure out what the F she's talking about. Women, I tell you, they're all a little nutty. No, you're dumb. Look, Stevie, I'm a simple man. No, you're not. Okay, I laugh. She got me there. Simple probably isn't the best way to describe myself. I don't leave the house without a planned and prepped ensemble. Direct. I'm direct. There's no hidden meaning when I say something. I don't lie. I don't bullcrap. What I said, I meant. Got it. Once again, she turns away from me, but I stop her with a hand on her arm. I'm missing something here. Mind filling me in on how I offended you? Stevie sticks the end of her disgusting hoodie string in her mouth before continuing to twirl the gold ring on her thumb. Will you tell the girl who isn't a size 2 that you trust her opinion about food more than the girls who are a size 2? Okay. He's a dum-dum. You see how I could take that as a way of you judging my body? Whoa, what? What? I ask in shock, my eyes wide. Is that why you got all weird and hid in the back for the rest of the flight? You thought I was talking about your body? Stevie stays silent, her eyes pulled away from mine. First of all, that thought never once crossed my mind. Your bum and boobs are insane though, which pulls a laugh from the curly-haired girl. In a weird way, that's kind of sweet. And I don't know what other girls eat, but my comment had nothing to do with your clothing size or your body. All I know is when I ran into you at the bar in Denver, the burger you had ordered looked amazing. Then when I got up to use the bathroom on the airplane on the way home from Detroit, I saw you scarfing down on that grilled cheese you made and I wanted one too. But I said had nothing to do with your body, just your taste buds. We like the same kind of food. A blush rushes up and covers Stevie's freckled cheeks. Oh, she squeaks out, seeming embarrassed for overreacting. And if you really want me to be direct about your body, I give her a once over, clearly checking her out. It's banging. You should stop showing it off. These sweatpants are atrocious though. Finally, a relaxed laugh echoes from Stevie's mouth and into my ears. It sounds nice. But for real, do you shop at the thrift store or something? I yank at the tattered fabric on her leg that might fall apart if I pull too hard. Stevie quickly looks down at her outfit, if you want to call it that. Yes, she sticks without hesitation. We don't pay you enough. I can do something about that. No, she laughs. I just like buying second hand. Now that I don't get. Granted, I have a tailor who custom makes half of my clothes and the other half is designer. But used? No, thank you. Do you shop at Louis Vuitton, Prada and Tomforde? She asks. Yes, Stevie laughs. I know I was kidding. I can tell you only wear designer. You're a pretty one, Evan Sanders. She adds a condescending pat on my chest. Oh, sweetheart, you think I'm pretty? She playfully rolls her eyes. Stop calling me sweetheart. Never. Her soft gaze locks with mine, both of us silent but unwilling to tear our eyes off one another. After a beat, Stevie starts walking backwards, heading off in the direction she was going before I chased her down, but she still faces me. You know, Sanders, now that you mention it, you guys don't pay me enough. I think a raise is in order. I keep my lips pressed together in a hard line, trying to hold back my smile, but she got me there. I really walked my bum right into that trap. You're going to start being nice to me on the airplane if I do that for you. She takes a moment, cocking her head in contemplation as she continues to walk away from me. Doubtful. The smile is out. I can't really hold it back any longer. Now you're going to start being nice to me and stop being a needy little effer with that call light, she adds with a knowing grin. F no, you may as well put your running shoes on next flight. I'm going to be running your bum up and down the aisle for me. I can hear her laugh all the way from here, though she's already halfway down the block. I'll be sure to stretch before you work me, she calls out, turning away from me. Granted, she didn't intend for that to come off sexual, but now all I can think about is working her in a different way. And how much fun I'd have throwing around that curly body, stretching on. No, she still wouldn't be able to walk like this. Not to be a creep, but I watch Stevie until she gets to her destination the next block over, and I do simply because Chicago's crime rate is out of this world. It has nothing to do with the way her bum moves or her hips sway behind those god-awful sweatpants that really need to be thrown in the garbage. I really loved that we saw more of like, okay, they don't hate each other, they're actually starting to like enjoy each other's company, and it's going more to just like hate / banter to more flanter, which I'm excited about. Chapter 9. Xanders. Did you see today's headline? Madison puts his phone right in front of my face. The tabloid reads, Evan Xander's new week, new woman. Oh my god, is it going to be her? And below that is a giant photo of me leaving the arena last night. Oh, with the chick I invited to the game. Boring. You're going to tell me that you had a cab waiting for her outside your building and she never even made it inside, and that instead of taking her upstairs you came over to our place so you could read your niece a bedtime story? Let them believe what they want to believe. You mean let them believe that Rich wants them to believe, Madison retorts. I just have to play the game until the end of the season. Rich thinks that Chicago won't re-sign me without the bad guy doesn't care about anything other than himself persona, so I gotta keep playing into it. Do they actually care that much? Because like I referenced earlier, because I only really have football here to sort of reference, because I know a bit about it. It's like they never talk about their personal lives. Like, it's not something that people ever really mention, and if they do, it gets shut down quickly. And it's like, it is talent based. Like, you have to be good at what you do in order to stay at a team or to transfer to a different team. Is this what it's like in hockey? Like, does their reputation and like that come into play, or is this just for the book? Yeah, sure, because Chicago won't re-sign you for being the best defenseman on the team and one of the best in the league, but they're definitely not going to re-sign you for being a Norris Trophy finalist 3 of the last 4 seasons. Madison's voice dripped with sarcasm. They're for sure only going to re-sign you if you continue to pull an astronomical amount of meow meow. With how much money is on the line, it's not worth the risk to find out otherwise. I think this is dumb. Without thinking or needing absolutely anything, my hand darts up, pushing the flight attendant's call light. The ding radiates through the cabin as the blue light shines above my head. Z, leave her the F alone, Madison shakes his head. We land in Nashville in 15 minutes and you haven't stopped pushing that button all flight. I can't. I promised myself I would make Stevie's job a living hell this season. I can't back out on a promise. You're so full of poop. What are you talking about? Z, you are the most unapologetic and blunt person I know, but you're lying to yourself if you think you keep pressing that damn call button because you want to make her life harder. Why else would I be? Madison's head falls back on the headrest with a condescending laugh. Since when did you become so dense, dude? You want to sleep with her. It's effing obvious. Well, poop. Yeah, I know that, but I was hoping I was a bit more subtle about it. I realised it last week after I ran into Stevie outside the elevator in Madison's apartment building. Regardless of how tattered and worn her sweatpants were, I couldn't stop imagining peeling them off, then burying my head between her legs. I flirted banter quickly straightened out my confusion. Her attitude and resistance to me are no longer teetering on the side of frustration. It's all intrigue and need at this point. When Madison's private penthouse elevator got fixed, but I continued to use the public ones in hopes that maybe the curly-haired flight attendant would run into me again. That's when I knew my plan for this season had changed. It's no longer about teaching her a lesson and reminding her of who she works for. It was about getting her to like me, and hopefully getting her to want to sleep with me too. Okay. But it would be more suspicious if I didn't make her life on board a living hell. So I've continued to do just that all flight. Plus I don't poop where I eat, which I've been trying to remind myself. So fudging my flight attendant isn't really an option, regardless of how much I've been thinking about it. What now? Stevie asks in frustration as she presses the light above my head to turn it off. Yeah, Evan, what now? I don't need a single effing thing, but it's like the light has been a magnet and I can't keep myself from pressing it, knowing that every time I do, a sexy flight attendant with a bit of an attitude gets delivered to me. I stumble. I won't. Think of something, you idiot. He wants to sleep with you. Madison chimes in from the seat next to me. Actually, I want to smack my best friend in the back of the head and tell him to shut the F up, but we aren't in middle school and that'd make things too obvious. Not that subtlety is my specialty by any means. I'm not shy about the things I want, but this one thing, this one woman, I shouldn't want and can't have. Turning my head towards Madison, I hold eye contact, unblinking, telling him I'm going to F him up as soon as we're off this plane. All he does is fall into a fit of laughter, finding himself exceptionally hilarious. When I turn back to Stevie, there's a world of amusement dancing in her blue-green eyes as she tries to hold back a smile. How about something I can actually get you? Am I going to see you in Nashville? What the F is wrong with me? Am I going to see you in Nashville? I sound like a desperate effing loser needing to pin down the plans as if I don't have endless options at my fingertips. Nashville is a prime city for me. My Instagram is already flooded with messages from my Tennessee roster, and I can guarantee that if I won, my will be buried deep inside with them tonight. But that's not who you want, so it doesn't matter. Great question, Stevie retorts. You seem to follow me everywhere I go, so I can only assume you'll pop up at whatever bar I'm at tonight. Madison's head snaps to me, a confused look covering his face. I may have failed to mention that I've seen Stevie outside of the plane a couple of times, and regardless of that information, he still knows I want to. So that's great. I'm currently entirely tongue-tied for the first time in my life, but thankfully the pilot saves me by coming over the PA system and calling for the flight attendant's landing check. Stevie takes off to the back of the plane to take her seat. Z, Madison's tone is entirely serious. Don't do it. Don't do what? There's a sickeningly sly smile creeping across my lips. I'm not great at acting dumb, and right now is no exception as my best friend rolls his eyes at me. For her sake, do not sleep with her. She works for you, and she's going to be on this plane for the entire season with us. That poop gets around the locker room like wildfire. The You know that. For her sake, keep it in your pants, man. Taking a deep breath, I nod my head. I don't poop where I eat, reminding both of my best friends as well as myself. I'm going to read chapter 10 and then done for today, ladies and gents. Chapter 10. Stevie. Because, just very quickly, because I feel like, because when I read Play Along as well, they were having to keep their like relationship hush-hush, sort of. Because I feel like, sorry, the consequences for Stevie are way bigger than the consequences for Xander's. So like if he was to mess around with Stevie, she would get fired. They're not going to kick him off the team for doing that. You know, it's just going to play more into his whole persona. Whereas like Stevie's got a lot on the line. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out, because something's going to happen. Something better happen in this beefy book. Oh god, I'm so close. My toes are curled, my legs are spread wide, and my head is pushed into the pillow of my hotel bed. Oh god, okay. Oh, my brother. I can't. What if my parents hear me, bro? I can't. My buzzes in my hand and my money forms beneath it. I hope you guys have a book so you know what I'm rhyming. On the brink of getting off. My eyes grew shut as my hand-held best friend continues to work his magic over my sensitive nerves. There's not a work trip I take without this thing, and it's been a while since I've really gotten off. So this overdue is about to rip through my body, and I can feel it. Okay. I'm so close, so epic close. As I visualize someone else doing this instead of this bright purple rubber toy in my head. Michael B. Jordan. Yes. Liam Hemsworth. Oh, that's kind of a random one. Maybe it was during his peak time. Yes. Oh my god. I'm right there. Evan Sanders. No. No, 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 please, no. But it's too late as my entire body contracts and my mouth falls open as I visualizing that Sanders is the one making it happen. Don't blame me, girl. His tattooed skin and hazel eyes are all I can see as I hit my high. His gold chain around his neck, his corded back muscles, his long fingers and perfect teeth. No, F no. Once I finally come down, I throw my vibrator across my hotel room in frustration and betrayal. Did I seriously just to the image of Evan Sanders? Yes. Yes, I did. God, this is going to be tough to read. Have I been able to picture anyone else all week ever since I saw the outline of what he's sporting in his sweatpants on our flight home from Detroit? No, I haven't. Which is why I was overdue for an... I haven't all week. I've stopped myself anytime his stupid pretty face came into my mind, and I've been sexually frustrated since. Stevie, a couple of girls squeal, accompanied by several knocks at my door. Poop. Is it 9 already? I grab a pair of sweatpants from my suitcase and struggle to step into them, attempting to get dressed while also stumbling over to the door. I pull them over my bum before I swing it open. Ah! Oh, it's the Mean Girls. Both Hannah and Jackie shriek as they engulf me in a hug. This reception is a little unexpected. I haven't seen or talked to my old high school friends in quite a while, but felt the need to tell them I was coming to town. We have an ongoing group chat, but it's typically just a conversation between the two of them. When I told them I was coming back to my hometown, they insisted we get together for a night out. Hey guys, I hug them back, or at least attempt to, but they're pinning my arms to my body. Please tell me that's not what you're wearing. Hannah pulls away from our embrace, eyeing my body up and down. Of course not. I look down at my loungewear. I gotta change real quick and we can go. Checking out my friend's outfits, I'm glad I brought something out of my comfort zone to wear. Hannah is decked out in a sequin mini dress, and Jackie's crop top shows off her toned midsection perfectly. I'd rather go out in my oversized t-shirt and baggy jeans, but this town already makes me feel like I don't fit in as it is. Is that your vibrator? Hannah's questions, staring at the purple toy on the floor. I hesitate, grabbing it and shoving it back into my suitcase. Wear your mask of confidence, own it. It's not like they know you to into the mental image of one of your clients having you. Sure is, I confidently state. A lot of women use vibrators. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Period. It keeps you from making some poor choices when you have that thing at your fingertips. I grabbed the outfit I planned to wear tonight out of my suitcase before slipping it into the bathroom to change. So, Jackie begins, speaking loudly so I can hear her behind the bathroom door. How's Ryan? These whores. I roll my eyes, thankful to be locked in the bathroom so she can't see me. Jackie, like every girl in high school, was eager for my twin brother's attention. He never did anything with her, knowing she was my friend, but every time she brings him up, it feels like she has ulterior motives behind her questioning. Yeah. He's good. I quickly brush her off as I slip in the miniskirt I brought for a night out. I thrifted it last week and loved the way it hugs my hips, and bam. Typically, I would never wear this outfit, but something about being back in Nashville makes me feel the need to dress the part, to try a little harder. I finished my look off with a pair of heels and a body-hugging long-sleeve top. Not so surprisingly, Xander's words from last week have been playing on repeat in my mind. Your body is banging, you should start showing it off. Oh, I can't help but smile at myself in the full-length mirror. Leaving my sweatpants and sweatshirt on the bathroom floor, I head back into the central part of my room. Oh, Hannah stops in her tracks, checking me out, her eyes flickering up and down my body. They better not say anything bad. What? Nothing, just didn't expect you to wear something so tight. That's not like you. And suddenly, there goes that bit of genuine confidence. I tried to put the mask back on, but it's almost impossible to do so in my hometown. Should I change? Though I have no idea what I'd wear, I only brought one outfit to go out this week. No, you look fine, Jackie chimes in. Let's just go. I push my hair out of my face, grabbing my purse off the bed. I head to the door. Where are we going first? Whiskey Town. I quickly shake my head. I don't think that's a good idea. It's right across the street from the arena. There's a good chance some of the hockey team will be there. We know. Jackie smiled with mischief. That's why we're going there first. We want to meet some of your new hockey boys. She knocks a narrow hip into mine. We can't. I can get into trouble for that. Hannah rolls her eyes at me. Stevie, it's fine. No one is going to care if you happen to end up at the same bar as some of the guys on the team. No, you guys don't get it. I can literally get fired for fraternising with them. Then don't fraternise, Jackie states with a casual shrug. But just because you can't go out with them doesn't mean we have to avoid them. The least you can do is introduce us. Whores. I should have seen this coming. I should have known better. I should have listened to my brother's warning and realised that the only reason Hannah and Jackie were so eager to hang out with me was that I happened to work for professional athletes, but they thought I would be their hookup. But no, screw that. I just don't know how to get out of the situation now that I'm in it. Once outside, Hannah and Jackie walk about 5 feet ahead of me, eager to get to the bars on the main strip in Nashville. There's a good chance some of the team will be at a fan favourite Whiskey Town, but if not, I'm sure my friends from high school will make us bar hop until we find them. I can only hope that Tara isn't out tonight. If she's out on the town and I so happen to be in the same bar as the team, I'm screwed. Indy texted me when we got to our hotel rooms, telling me to have fun and asking if I wanted to grab a brunch with her tomorrow. I quickly said yes, and now I wish I would have never told Hannah and Jackie I was back in town. I would have much rather had a night on the town with my cool and kind co-worker. Me too. How do we look? Jackie asked as she and Hannah quickly primped themselves right outside the bar. Great, I absent-mindedly answer without looking at them. We show our IDs at the door and the two of them quickly scan the scene as soon as we step inside. It's an empty table, Hannah says, pointing towards the back corner of the crowded bar. Stevie, grab us 2 vodka sodas while we snag a table back there. Hannah and Jackie loop their arms around each other, taking off to the far corner of the bar. They look exactly the same from behind, long blonde hair, tan legs, and lean on the spectrum of orange and short and petite frames. Glancing down at myself, I look nothing like them, and being back in this city constantly reminds me that I don't fit in, that I don't look like the girls I grew up with, that I don't fit the construct of pretty. I feel invisible as I attempt to squeeze past the people crowding the bar. No one is even waiting for a drink or ordering a new one, yet no one yields some space for me. I hate this night already. I don't know if I've ever felt as self-conscious as I do in this moment. It's as if I'm all too aware of the area I'm occupying, with other bodies swarming around me. It's as if I need to apologise for existing in this space, for being the size I am, for not being small enough to squeeze past the crowd without bothering anyone. Eventually, a couple starts aggressively making out. They press together so closely that it makes just enough room for me to sneak up to the bar top. The bartender laughs as I sigh in relief. Sidling? I don't know this word. Sidling up to the counter. What can I get you? Can I get 2 vodka sodas with lime and an IPA? She grabs a couple of glasses by her, your biggest IPA. A smile forms on her lips as she exchanges the smaller glass of a much larger one. As she turns to the tap, I look up to scan the room, feeling a pair of eyes on me. Hazel eyes. Hidden in the back corner of the bar, Xander pulls his beer to his lips, his eyes shining with amusement as his mouth tugging up in a smile behind the glass bottle as he stares at me. You following me? He silently mouths from across the bar. I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm really liking their relationship development. It feels really natural, going from like annoying each other to sort of like the whole like, are you following me? Like, it's getting cute now, it's not annoying. Also, getting a brief insight into Xander's past is making me have a little bit more sympathy for him with how he acts. I think the whole thing of him having to have this bad boy persona and like how the reporters talk to him and his like manager and stuff, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if it's really like that. If it is, then like fair enough, but like it's too much. Like it feels too unrealistic, but I don't know if it's just because like I'm not used to seeing that in the media here in the UK. I don't know. I'm interested to see when they do start getting together, how they're gonna hide it, how they're gonna deal with it, because they're gonna have to keep it hush hush. And yeah, Indy's my favourite character. I want to see more of her. I'm 99% sure that she's got her own book, which I'm really excited for, because if her personality is anything like this in that book, it's probably going to be one of my favourites. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I read it okay. My voice is so dry, I need some water. I didn't bring any water up and I just dry mouth did it the whole way because I couldn't be bothered to move. Let me know your thoughts and what you think of the book. And yeah. I'll see you next time, divas.